in our modern times. I don't think that the world is actually
She's
changing as
back.
much as it might feel. I think the thing that's changing is you can't just pretend that the entire world is your village or your town or your city or your kingdom or whatever. Like before communication was as good as it is today, the entire world was like the 100 people or less that you know. You might have 20 people in your village if you're, like a farm group of farmers who just send your crops off to your lord if you're feudal times or whatever. Like that's your entire world. The person you're
I was reading.
Humanity.
Stopped
But
listening.
also, like, it's such a generalized question that it's almost like you would argue yourself in circles forever trying to answer something that, like, it doesn't matter because humanity marches on anyway, and that time spent
you get bonus points because right or wrong was my entire philosophy career. I studied morals and ethics. And when you study morals and ethics, you spend very little time debating, like, if something's right or wrong, more so than figuring out the different moral theories and how they would apply to that question. So if you look at something like Kantian ethics and you look and see if there was, like, a duty ascribed to someone's motivations for why they did something versus utilitarianism, which is like the greater good. Did more people get benefited by this decision or hurt by this decision? There's your answer. And then there's, I forget what the other moral theory is called. There's like a more modern one I forget the name of. It's been so many years. But boiling it down to what is right or wrong is oftentimes the answer because you can get different answers on different things depending on what your definition of right and wrong is. But I'm assuming the idea for this is probably more of a utilitarian approach when they say right or wrong direction for humanity, because they're not really ascribing the individual here. It's more so humanity as a whole. So I don't even think it's like taking into consideration what we're doing to the world or animals. It's humanity headed in the right or wrong direction for humanity's sake. I think what they're implying. But it is vague, and you could argue, well, it's not so good for the fucking animals we've made extinct by cutting down rainforests, and it's not so good for the planet that we're milking of resources, and it's not so good for I don't know, people's moral or their mental well-being. There's a lot more people that
those trees should fight harder. Just because we won doesn't like we went into the fight and they were unprepared. They didn't catch these hands and those trees went down.
The trees in the Lord of the Rings didn't just sit back and take it. They kicked ass.
Exactly. Yeah, rip those roots up. Come on, let's throw it down, trees. Let's go.
Well, they needed some motivation. Maybe we're working on it. Maybe our trees just need a little bit more motivation.
Maybe our trees are weak. Maybe they need to make stronger trees. Maybe they need some tree roids. Maybe they need to get like some treatrine,
Here's how you motivate a tree. You get the tree, you take one of its saplings growing nearby, and you rip off a leaf right in front of the parent tree until they get upset enough to do something about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that makes sense. Well, you dug down to it, Wade, but I take umbrage with the whole other part of this question as posed.
By all means, that's what we're here for.
So this is a classic thing, I feel like, right? Historically, like going back towards, all the way to the beginning of humanity as an existence, people had very small view of what the world is. And I think it feels to a lot of people like the world is changing. Like globalization is a big topic in our modern times. I don't think that the world is actually changing as much as it might feel. I think the thing that's changing is you can't just pretend that the entire world is your village or your town or your city or your kingdom or whatever. Like before communication was as good as it is today, the entire world was like the 100 people or less that you know. You might have 20 people in your village if you're, like a group of farmers who just send your crops off to your lord if you're feudal times or whatever. Like that's your entire world. The person you're sending your taxes to or your food to or whatever, like if you're under a lord or something, you probably never even meet them. You might not see them. You might not know for real that they exist. They basically might as well be God to you because you don't even know if it's a human that you're serving or working for or whatever. But as communication gets better and better, and now we basically have instant communication from anywhere on the globe to anywhere on the globe, almost, barring, governments clamping down on that and issues in parts of the world where, internet is not as universal as it may seem to people who live in America or people who live in, European countries or whatever, where it kind of is everywhere all the time. That's not 100% of all of the world yet, But as that becomes more and more the case, the thing is less that the world is changing and that suddenly there's all these global issues. The thing is that we're all aware of it more. And to reduce humanity to one vector of this is humanity and it's either going upwards or downwards as a whole comes, I think, from the idea that humanity is so small that you could do that. Like, theoretically, sure, it's possible to look at everything that's happening, everything that everyone is doing and has done, and say, like, and even if you just pick a system arbitrarily and say, okay, these are good, these are bad, we can ascribe easily to each action, whether it's good or bad, we can come up with a total number and say, this is the total good or total bad that is currently going on with humanity. To say that that's how small humanity is just not a very, like, modern perspective on what humanity is. That's like treating all of America like we're all basically the same person just spread out across the whole country. Or treating even smaller countries like they're not complex, diverse groups of people with all kinds of different concerns and issues and things. I just think the core of that question comes from the perspective of, like, well, if humanity's just one thing, it's either good or bad. So how good or bad is it? And, like, my main point of umbrage is humanity is unquantifiably complex. If you ignore the question of what is right and what is wrong, how would you ever possibly take an aggregate of everything that's happening, all the incredibly good things that are currently happening, and all of the unfathomably bad things that are currently happening? How could you possibly, like, reduce all of that to one thing? It ignores the human part of, well, all these good things that are happening, having all this positive impact, all these horrific things, war crimes, killing people, whatever, all this horrible stuff that's happening. If you reduce that to a number, even if you say humanity is bad overall, if you reduce that to a number, you're reducing each person who's died for no reason, who's taken from family, who's suffering in some way. You're reducing all of that complex humanity to, it's bad. That's just a really bad way to assess it. I don't like that. I think that's oversimplifying what humanity is. Is that philosophical enough for you?
I mean, it's a good discussion. Does it answer the question? No, but like you said, it's hard to. All these questions are hard to answer because if you think about them, it's like, well, how do I?
Oh, I said I had the simple answer. Humanity good. 7.
So, like, imagine imagine humanity is an ant farm, and some higher power or some alien thing is looking at, like, the world, and they see humans, like all the other creatures, like, oh, whatever, that's their food, or that's just some ants that got in there, like, who cares? But you have human ant farm and you're watching it. Through that lens, would you think humanity is doing well or doing badly? And that also depends. Like, well, look at them. They're building up their different communities. Like, they're building up skyscrapers and all this stuff. Like, they look like they're flourishing. And then also you'll see, like, destruction. You'll see the world being sapped of life or whatever, maybe over time, or maybe we'll stop that. It's hard to say what the future holds.
Ants would never.
But, it depends. Again, it depends on the lens of which you're looking at it and what your definition of good and bad or right or wrong are. So
yeah, and it also depends on, like, what kind of God's shoes are you putting yourself in? Because if you are of such a higher power that the entire universe was just like something you could observe in a glance, then what humanity is doing wouldn't even register. It's like, imagine, like, if an atom just decomposed, like, in the air around you, you wouldn't notice. Wouldn't matter. If we blew up the entire Earth in a cosmic sense, doesn't matter. Like, right now, millions of planets are being exploded into nothingness. Well, then maybe not millions right now.
But they don't have us on them.
They might have some other version of us that's just as egotistical and wants to put ourselves in God's shoes.
We're not even talking about alternate universes. It's just our universe.
I wasn't talking about alternate universes.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We're not even talking about that, and we're talking about all these planets exploding.
I think like, all these quandaries are wonderful. Right? I love answering them correctly.
I don't know if I like the way you shifted the tone there. Maybe more uncomfortable than happy to hear.
All I know is that if there's aliens out there, I want to either fight them or fuck them. Period.
The Mass Effect philosophy, I see.
Yeah, that's me. That's why I got all my philosophy about is Mass Effect, literally. It's a renegade system or a Paragon system at all times. Every encounter I have is like, wow, like the two colors flash, and I just press left or right mouse. I'm like, what do I do here?
Flush the toilet, Paragon. Leave it alone, Renegade. Everything.
Flush the toilet, but don't turn the fan on? Unsure. Complicated.
That's one of each. You did one Paragon action, one Renegade action.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Yeah, I like my balance to be the median, but swinging rapidly from end to end.
Not,
but it walks a fine line. If you look,
it's not staying in the middle, carefully making. It's just wildly making choices one way or the other.
Throw yourself into a burning orphanage to save all the kids, and then you go and run over a family on the way home.
But you look at that average line, it's straight as an arrow.
The average line is in the middle of a horrific earthquake, but it's right there in the middle.
Oh, yeah. Perfectly even.
That's an interesting superhero. Morality Man. You have to only balance morality by doing the most extreme events to keep it perfectly even.
Wouldn't that be Immorality Man? Wouldn't Morality Man be a superhero who never did anything because they're so paralyzed by the concept of trying to figure out if what they're about to do is good or bad, that they would never take any action?
That's philosophy, man.
Wow. Listen, I get all my philosophy jokes from The Good Place. Have you watched The Good Place, Wade?
I have not.
There's a character in The Good Place, Chidi Anagonye, is one of the main characters, who is a philosophy. He's a philosophy researcher. He's like a PhD. There are a lot of jokes about why people don't like philosophy. This is where I'm pulling all of my material from.
There's a lot of jokes in philosophy about why people don't like philosophy. We went over those a lot.
He makes all the jokes about why people don't like him. But you should watch it if you like philosophy. It's an interesting show. You should absolutely watch it. I think you'd enjoy it.
Okay, yeah, I definitely would. And question, did you were talking about I don't remember exactly what your words were, but were you intentionally referencing the allegory of the cave at one point? Plato's cave? Or do you know what that is?
I don't know what that is. I'm just as smart as he is.
Okay, real dumb boiled down version is at some point in life, we are looking and we see shadows moving on a cave wall, and that is our reality. But then through enlightenment, knowledge, whatever, we eventually find out that there's something moving on top of us, and that movement is reflected on the shadows of the cave. And it's like, oh, so that's what's making the shadows. The shadows themselves aren't real people. It's those that are the real people. And then you discover there's a fire behind those shadows that's making the shadows appear. And it's like, oh, well, it's not even the thing. It's the light coming from the fire. And then you discover you've got arms and legs, and you discover you can leave the cave, and you discover there's a whole world outside of the cave. And it's like going from being super ignorant and thinking that the truth is just those shadows to discovering what the actual world is. That's a very dumb, boiled down version, so apologies.
So you get out of the cave.
Yes.
I asked ChatGPT what the allegory of Plato's cave is, and it gave me about 7 pages, so I'm not reading that, but I appreciate your summary. No, I mean, that is basically what I'm talking about, though. I think so I'm not a big philosopher, but I thought about this in law school a bit, and I think everyone thinks philosophically sometimes, things happen that make you think about the world and stuff. I think people's perception is at the core of a lot of my thoughts about the world, and the troubles that the world has, the troubles that people focus on and see. I think a lot of it comes down to what you focus on as how you perceive the world and what you think is important. Because there are people
I don't
who
think
are
we're going to
obsessed
play golf
with
just yet.
what they could see,
I just wanted to
hear,
put it
touch, and
on
what's
the
in
list.
front of them, and almost refuse to acknowledge,
We are going to
almost flat earther type logic, right? Where it's I want to be able to see
the fishing thing.
what I believe. I can't see that the Earth is a sphere.
This-
So you can
The other fishing thing.
do some certain things, but
It's pretty fun.
that sort of philosophy. But then there are also people who are the opposite of that, who are obsessed with what's happening outside of their sphere, who almost sacrifice their own area, their own people around them, what's going on around them, because they're obsessed with, we have to save the rainforest. They're obsessed with the war crimes going on in a specific country. It's people. I don't know if it's a choice or if it's how your brain is wired or what, but what people choose or don't choose to care about and get really obsessed and strongly opinionated about is almost dictated, as I see it, by what level of perception they go with for the world around them.
Exactly. You can't see it the same way.
What specific level of perception or what
When you deal with those people, they end up sounding like fucking pompous assholes.
That you choose to choose
They're
as,
not
like,
using the
those
same
real
part of
forms
the fucking
the
brain that you
actual
use
things
to
that matter,
debate the
entirely
conversation.
changes
So
you see
how
the
can you
world.
have the
And
conversation?
having the internet access that we do today, and having pictures and video and direct
And
communication
that
all
strikes
over
the
the
question:
world
do you just leave
makes it
them
really
behind? Do you
complicated to
keep
know
trying? Like, what
how
do you
you
do?
should see it.
It's crazy.
Because you know, you could see things that are so unrelated to your world and your life on a daily basis that it's hard to have a, you know, like a grounding in reality. Because what is reality? Is the stuff on the internet as real as your life? I think it is, but to you, like as a human, it's not that
Okay,
simple.
that's cool.
Perceiving that, I think, makes it really complicated for people.
Could do
But
times
yeah,
two, but it's
something
not
I did
necessary.
not know the allegory of Plato's Cave, but
I know
like
how to work
I
with
think
my
that's a
hands.
very at the heart of a lot of issues in the world for me, because
I know how to work.
how people will have debates or discussions, and it will seem like they're not talking about the same thing when they are trying to, but they're talking about it with completely different terminology, or it often comes from such a dramatic difference in perspective. They might as well be talking about different planets, because one person is focused on, you know, something very external, one person's focused on their personal version of the experience of whatever. It causes issues, and it is at the heart of a lot of issues in our modern, you know, society.
I disagree with every single point that Bob made.
Well, I was right, so Mark is wrong, and that means I should get the point.
I disagree with that premise.
But he's still wrong, so okay.
Disagree. How many points do you think you should get, Bob?
That's like a 750 or up type of answer, at least.
Disagree.
Okay, over 1,000. He's right. It's over 1,000.
No, he's disagreeing again. I don't care which way you go, up or down. I disagree.
I'm not disagreeing at all. I'm very agreeable. Mark's the one who's agreeable.
I disagree. I disagree about my agreeability.
Well, to agree with Bob, let me. No. The
Let's see
cave,
if that
I think,
works.
is more so about individual perception. At least this particular allegory, I think you could apply it to like looking at it from different perspectives. But I think one of the big issues is even just focusing on moral theory
That
alone,
is
looking at,
pretty-
ignoring everything else, which is a terrible thing to do. But just to simplify it for this explanation, is you have different moral theories that all have valid pros and cons, and there's certain instances where we want to lean toward one versus the
I
other.
really don't know
If
what this
you could
is.
step on one ant to cure cancer in a million people, utilitarianism would. It's like, why even ask? Step on the fucking ant. And it's like, well, what if it's a baby?
Even easier. Way softer. Less of an exoskeleton. Squishes right away.
Utilitarianism, to simplify it down, pretty much is always, if it's better for the greater good, do it. If it's bad, it sucks. But if it's for the greater good, do it. Whereas other moral theories are like, well, no, if that act is in and of itself bad, it's a bad thing to do. So you shouldn't kill a baby. But what about the greater impact? Well, utilitarian ethics, yes, do it. So a lot of times they agree, sometimes they disagree. It really depends on the situation. But I think in our world, in reality, you have different people ascribing to different moral theories and looking at things from different lenses all the time and trying to blend them and make them look pretty, whereas they just don't align. So what's good for humanity isn't necessarily good for the world, isn't necessarily good for the individual, or might be great for one individual, and all of this is just combined into one play that we're trying to find an explanation and answers of, where it's not clean like that. It's messy.
Here's like where I know this kind of echoes just what I was saying before. Is like I think a lot of problems in today, like with people in the age of information and like technology and the connectedness of it, is I'm not describing all of wisdom to be this one act, but I think there is a lot of wisdom that people miss out on knowing when to remove themselves from a debate or an argument and when not to put yourself in a position where you feel like you need to come up with an answer to a question that you have no right making. And I think you see this on the internet all the time, is people want to inherently, as human nature, want to participate in the discussion or want to feel like their opinion is heard, but there's very few people that like recognize the moments when they do not need to be involved at all, and so they find themselves in situations, often in arguments on the internet, where they don't need to be there. And even like with these greater philosophical discussions, there are times not every one person can answer all the moral quandaries that exist, and therefore there are some that an individual needs to go like, I need to remove myself from that, because I have no basis to answer it. And I have no, it's not that there's a right to answer something or not. It's just like, very few people even recognize it as an option to be like, oh, I don't need to worry about this. Or, or this doesn't need my involvement.
Nice.
that I have no basis on. And I think like that is an entire field of thought that people like have never even considered.
The internet is the perfect example of the cave. You get one piece of information, you see the little dude dance on the wall, and it's like all of your knowledge you just throw at it without knowing the full situation. You're like, I read these words, they did is wrong to me, or they did is right to me, here's my opinion. And you never have the full picture. You have one person's biased message, whether it's pro or anti something, but everyone piles on because that's the information they see, and it's like, this good, this bad info. Whereas they're all just sitting in the cave with a little silhouette on the wall thinking that's the information. But that is an example.
That's what I see the
Not
internet
having all the
as.
information, but running our government lives based on the limited information we have because we can mob mentality it very quickly.
Yep.
900 points for wage.
That's exactly how the fuck I see the
I
internet.
disagree.
Well,
People just dumb as a unit together, and they choose to.
That's
Even though they have on the same internet, you got access to all these fucking answers, and you can figure this shit out. They will still sit there and pile together and be dumb because they like the way something sounds. Somebody else says some dumb shit, and they're like, "Ooh." Worst part is the person who said the dumb shit will be the only smart one who knows the answer. But now you got thousands of fucking dumb dummies piggybacking off of you because they can't think outside of their own box. Shit is crazy.
Alright, we're gonna solve this in the simplest way.
Spend your life getting your information from the internet. People of the internet,
It's not even gonna be
not
what
the
you
actual
think it is
purpose
whenever I
of
tell you this.
having the internet. Yeah, can't respect any of your opinions because your opinion is clearly someone else's opinion. You did no research. You didn't even try.
I disagree.
I heard this. It sounds something like what I would say, so that's what fact is. What?
That 20 and 1.
I'm trying to fuck your life up.
If it wasn't clear, so I will allow your selection. Bob, pick number between 1 and 20.
This thing get on my nerves the most. I heard. Oh, did you? I hear you talking right now, and I think you're very wrong and stupid.
If
You
I
know.
pick it, it's going to seem like you made me pick it. But also, I have to pick it myself. One.
So
You didn't specify it needed to be whole integers.
I'd say there's something wrong with sharing information with fellow man and let it
Turn this into a coin flip, you know.
debating ideas.
It's very, very almost a coin flip.
But
If
yeah.
that's 1.5, if that skews it in my favor, then
Just
I
do
get
your
the right
research.
Well, you both picked opposite ends of the spectrum. One picked 20, one picked 20.
0.5. So technically you round up from there.
From one perspective, 20 is greater than 1. Okay? And 20 points would be worth more than 1 point. From another perspective, from a ranking system, if you're the 20th, you're last out of 20, and 1 is first place. Setting those aside, our point totals prior to this was Mark sitting at 2,005 points. Bob had 1,601 points.
Only got 5 points since the beginning of the
You only got 3 points at the beginning of the episode.
Oh,
You had 2002.
I kind of quit assigning points when we got into the thousands, and I figured I would just make it interesting at the end. Because you were so far ahead the whole time, Mark, that I was just letting Bob kind of try to catch up and see what happened. But he still fell 404 points short.
Number 1, though.
But he did pick number 1. And the 20 and 1 have nothing to do with it, so Mark, you win because you had 2005. It's a smoke screen.
Before he can visit.
Stupid.
I legitimately would like to talk about this stuff forever. This is the stuff that gets my brain tickled. It's like Mark talking about technology as me with philosophical discussion.
Yeah.
I feel like we do it wrong, though. Are we the people you want to talk about this with?
We
or-
do, because I ask a question and you guys immediately cut to the end. You're like, I don't want to watch the movie, I just want to see how it ends.
I know how it goes, alright? I lived in this world. I know how things are. I have wisdom.
You get to places by discussing the pros and cons, not by skipping to the there's no right answer. Usually philosophical questions end with, well, there's not really a right answer. But the point of it is to get your brain thinking. It's the way of processing information and getting to that.
They're saying we were right, though.
Not right enough, clearly, because you lost. So,
Well, I won.
Let's
I'm
switch that.
very right.
If you simplify the actions of Mark and I today into simply the actions of Distractable, we were very right, which means Distractable is going in the right direction. The right direction.
if you think Mark hosting the next episode is the right direction, then yes.
Oh, that's terrible for the humanity of Distractable. But overall, right now, still the right direction.
Oh yeah.
Well, Mark gave his winner's speech quickly to keep you from pissing yourself, so do you have a loser speech?
Doesn't feel good. I've been doing this to Mark a lot, and I don't like it. Now I feel bad.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Doing the bait
Stuff on
switch
it,
flippy
okay.
floppies, where you think maybe you're about to win or you have a chance, and then you have no
I
chance.
should have thought
Well,
that
see,
through
the thing
before
is,
I did that.
I have won.
Because I'm like, it's
I
not going
think
to take me
that
too much
was one
further.
where I
Right?
won.
Still got one more
Actually
fish to
won.
catch.
Then it was taken.
The same thing is happening to me right now, Mark. Don't
You
try
take
to
me
win.
there.
I could have.
Any of us could have at any moment in these episodes.
He made us pick numbers, and also I could have peed my pants.
Technically, I should have given the win to myself because Mark told me I had 12,950 points, which is a lot more than 2,000.
We don't even know that that's a number, though. What if that's not a number? What if there's some other, variable in there?
Well, I know it's a number because I wrote it down and I was the host.
I meant 12,900. Very small. Very small.
Well, thankfully, I didn't feel like doing this twice in a row because I got to save part 2 to really milk it. I can't just do it back to back. So, and Mark, you win. Bob, you were the runner-up. You almost had it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
We're doing positive reinforcement today.
Second place.
And all of you out there, you win for having listened to it.
Yay.
So,
I'm a
if you guys
winner.
haven't already, go follow us. Bob at MyScript, Mark at Markiplier, I'm Minion777 or Lord Minion777. It's different because I'm an idiot. We have merch, shufflepodcast.com. I think we're trying to work on some other cool, fun things, so we might have an announcement about cool, fun things one day. So keep watching. Maybe we'll tell you. If not, false hope is sometimes better than no hope. See you next time with Mark hosts. Until then, podcast.
Depressingly ambiguous.
Well, what is ending? Is it an end or just the start of something else?
No, it's the end.
Your team joins TikTok, they're protected with over 50 preset safety and privacy settings. Because when safety comes first, discovery can follow. Hey, even dads
Stopping
need
them from
dad
telling
advice
you they older,
sometimes.
but whatever. I was stopping y'all from putting age limits of what you consider to be old enough to make your own decisions. Super fucking young for most
This
parents.
episode of Distractable is
It's level
presented by
set shit.
Vitamin Water. Some drinks are fun, some are
Philosophically
functional,
speaking.
but Vitamin Water said,
Favorite kind of time.
there is nothing more refreshing than like a nice Vitamin Water, ice cold sip in the heat.
I only drink zero sugar drinks, so of course I'm a fan of the zero sugar, rehydrate, pineapple, passion fruit.
I'm a big pineapple guy. Pineapple good. Born in New York City, built for people who work hard and play hard. Grab a Vitamin Water today. Copyright 2025 Glasso. Vitamin Water is a registered trademark of Glasso.
You
Good
talk
evening,
this
gentle
nonsense.
listeners or watchers, and welcome to Distractable. This episode, lessening ways to dementia, refers of penis, and folks of frailty. Looking down the mark, saves his pro whisperer from versus Americana. Sniffable bird war. Urges overlordship. Pushing Bob disrobes Mark. Still dungeon dwells. Is a yoke aficionado. Victory vapor. Just tops. From missing wheels to starfish cosmology. It's time for I See Two Parts. Now sit back and prepare to be distracted and enjoy the show.
Yep.
Yeah, we're keeping that. Use that one.
Alright, welcome to the show where we're a mess today. If I'm being honest to you, we are all a mess today. What are you talking about? As always, I'm joined on this show, which is about something. Bob, hey guys.
Hey, I didn't see you there.
You're looking awfully handsome today. And yes, that is the bottom of my monitor in frame.
Mark's frame has had a lot of different things pop in today.
Mark's world is slowly closing in on the edges of his frame. He's just going to keep zooming in as the episode goes on.
It really is. It really is. Look, it's new levels of difficulty. Do you know what this is?
Hey, you know, look at this doofy.
That's a editing
Soundboard?
editing
Oh,
controller.
fuck you! You know what it is? God damn it! TI 93 minus.
I don't know what the thing is called, but I recognize the scrolling wheel and the clickety clackety buttons. It's for editing and whatnot, isn't it?
Yeah, I wish that it had just the wheel and like 2 buttons. That's all I really use. There's a bunch of buttons that are basically, I've already mapped the shortcuts to my keyboard, and I have a keyboard, and I just like the wheel because scrubbing through footage is easier with a wheel. But I can't have that because they don't make it.
This is the least helpful response I could have thought of. I swear to God, I've seen the thing that you're asking for, Mark. Like I get fed ads for a lot of filmmaking, like lighting and editing stuff that I'm never going to use because I don't actually do that. I've seen a tool where it's like just the scrub wheel and it has like crown like it has maybe 4 or 5 buttons on top of it basically, but it's like mostly the wheel.
I would love that if it integrated with it.
Literally just buy a thermostat and reprogram it.
I think the thing is, it's made by one of those companies where it's like, this is for streamers and content creators, and it doesn't integrate with like actual pro stuff as well as it's like a volume knob, but it physically exists.
Yeah, because it's like the concept is there, and it's really nice, but that one is integrated specifically for DaVinci because Blackmagic made that one, so I just hope they make a really small one.
You just take a saw and just...
Wait, that was your idea, your beautiful genius idea.
I don't know. You guys talk about technology, I zoned out again, but
It's a wheel. It's. I guess that is humans' earliest technology is a wheel.
Caveman Wade saw Mark and Bob Caveman being like, oh, wheel, look, 2 wheels make cart roll. Wade's over here dragging that shit on the ground like, who needs wheels?
Honestly, this is barely tech because it'd be like us talking about a keyboard. Like you know what this is, right?
yeah, it's like a smaller piano.
Where he just uses his mouse and opens an on-screen keyboard and clicks one letter at a time.
I try to touch it with my finger, like, why isn't this working?
I mean, you know, I would love. I kind of like. Do you remember when they had that the finger sensor
It's
thing on
better
the Bob? But
detector.
I didn't get one, but they had it. It was like it could detect your fingers where they were, so that you get that. And they kind of have the hand tracking in VR headsets and stuff. It's like I still am looking for a better control scheme, like the Minority Report, like.
That was exactly my first thought when you said the better. I was like Minority Report, where he was just like, "Nah, I want this."
I know it's just like the directors to the actors, like just wave your hands around, all techie like.
It was a weird amalgamation of technology. It was literally like people shoved in a pond, a little ball that would roll out, and then the craziest VR control screens of all time.
Yeah, I just imagined a naked precog Mark in his vat of goop with the screen above him just being like, oh, making a movie. Ooh, ooh.
Anyway, Minority Report, streaming somewhere, probably watch it. Bob, what's new with you?
Cabinets, is reading books. I don't know, not much has happened since the last time we had smallpox stuff.
Are you still reading Carl the
Dungeon Crawler Carl?
That's
Yes,
it.
I'm almost done with book 3 still. I haven't even... No, everything's good. James is real funny these days. He started music classes this week. Good time. Yeah.
What is he doing in music class? Like, if they give him drumsticks or something? Or
Yeah, it's a toddler music class, so it's like triangle, hit the triangle, shakers. They had to get a banana that he was shaking. Hitting and scraping and shaking is the gist of it. And like play like they did the big parachute where everyone sits in a circle or parachute, that thing. That sort of stuff. But fun stuff.
I don't remember what the name of the school was where we did that. You have the giant parachute with a hole in the middle, and you all throw it up in the air and run under it.
Elementary school?
Well, I'm at the specific school I went to.
Milford Elementary School?
They were like 4. Now there's like 8. And then it was called Pleasant Hill, and then it got renamed after the principal. Then it got they deleted the school.
Fun stuff.
Did that to my little school.
This is something that's totally reshaped my daily digestion. I have been taking Ritual's gut health supplement, Symbiotic Plus, and it has got me totally back to regularity with that.
That's awesome.
I do have an event that occurred in the interim, a kind of crazy one. It was late at night, 2 days ago. That was the same day we did that recording. No.
Are you sure it happened, or were you still hallucinating?
I might have been. I kind of hoped I was, but I really wasn't. So I let the pups out front, and I grabbed some blueberries, and I'm like, oh, the gate's open, so get out. And I go out there, and I see, Henry's peeing on a bush, and Chica is standing in the middle of the driveway with her tail raised, looking up at something. And I'm like, that's odd. And it's dark, because it's night, and we don't have a ton of lights, so I can not really see. But I'm looking, and before my brain registers it, I got a shiver down my spine. And then I see a dark shape in the middle of the driveway up above that Chica is looking at, and it's big. And it took me a second, and then I go like, that's a bear. And I immediately set my blueberries down and sprinted. I don't remember when I did it because it must have been as I was processing, but let's just say that I go, like I took that pause, right? And I sprint because Chica is literally staring down a bear. And as soon as I yell Chica, she charges the bear.
Oh, that's not what I would have guessed.
She fucking charged the bear. And she's doing her bark.
Very scary, sure.
Very scary bark. And thankfully the bear decided that me also running, screaming behind, going, was scary enough that the bear actually turned around and ran up the hill. And I'm like, okay, I gotta throw down with the bear. I was like, I don't have my bear spray. I don't have my boar spear. Don't have any blueberries. I didn't have a blueberry, you're right. And I didn't have the knife I usually keep on me at the time. So I was like, all right, I guess I'm going hand to hand with a bear. Here we go. Because I would do that for Chica. I would throw down. I was about to let anything happen, but I was worried that it was going to run off and she was going to run it, and I wouldn't be able to keep up, and then I wouldn't be able to help. But thankfully, it got chased up, and then I got Chica inside, and Henry was so scared because he didn't see the bear. He only heard me yelling and then Chica barking. So he was like super confused, looking around. So I get them inside, and the bear went up, and it's somewhere there. Like a minute passes by. And then I see headlights at the top of the driveway. Amy got back home, and I'm like, oh shit, she doesn't know there's a bear literally right there. Oh God, she shouldn't get out of the car, right? So I look from the door and I see her get out of the car, pick up a package, and then I'm like, shit. So I grab a stick and I grab a light and I just start running up. I'm like, but thankfully, she got it back in her car, and she said, I was just listening to music the whole time. She's like, no, I'll get this package done. It was literally,
it's like a horror movie. They fall up with their music guy, which is like,
Yeah.
You look around for the bear, you don't see it. She pulls the car further in the driveway, and in the back seat, you see the bear's head.
the car starts driving away while Amy's picking up the package, and the bear is just like, I can't believe that worked. The bear is in the box.
He was like, wow, this is a heavy package.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Well, my thought is actually, I'm glad that she didn't get there a minute sooner, because her car would have boxed in Chica the bear and the car, and I think it would have climbed over a fence. But it was like my adrenaline had never been higher than those 5 minutes. It was crazy. The initial Chica is going to die in a fight to a bear, and then get Chica inside, then turn around, see lights and stuff, like, hey, he's gonna die to a bear.
I'm sure you got him, but just the way you told it, I just like to imagine Henry's just standing at the bush, just, I don't know, what's Mark doing? Fuck, that's crazy, man.
That was
and like you're inside yelling at Amy, and Henry's done, and he's just like, oh, Mom's home.
Thank goodness, there's this crazy guy yelling.
The bear's in the woods twirling its bear mustache, like, I'll get them next time.
I think it was the same bear that I scared off the other time. It wasn't that big. It's a black bear. It's very dangerous, but usually they're a bit more skittish.
Yeah, I think you'd have trouble in a one-on-one with a bear. I don't want to bruise your ego too much, but even a small bear seemed like a lot.
Yeah. It's like, this bear was probably like, if Chica's like 75 pounds, I believe it would be about 175, 200 pound bear. So not the biggest that you can get, but sizable. It's still dangerous. Wow. But Chica scared it, or the combo of me and Chica scared it. So
That's a hell of a thing to have had happen.
and it's one of those things where I was sleep deprived. I'm like, because I was hearing voices. I was seeing faces, and I was having full on hallucinations there.
Mark, there's no bear.
Yes, there is, Mark.
You I trust.
He's the one telling the truth, Saudi. That's what hallucinations will do to you.
It's like you imagine the bear saw you and was like, oh, that dude's got blueberries. And then you set them down and came out and he was like, ah, damn it. I'm not gonna eat him. I don't want to talk to my neighbor. I wanted blueberries. Get out of here. Come back for blueberries later. So much shit happens to you. You could start pulling all-nighters, start getting sleep deprived, and all this crazy stuff starts going on. What am I doing with my life over here?
Come to California. It's interesting here.
I've never lived in as much fear as I did when I lived in California and the wildfires were 5 miles from our house. I'll give you that.
We're allowed to have campfires in Ohio.
Not for long. Not for long.
Yeah, I mean, it's been so high here. I already feel like I don't know if I'd do that in my backyard. We got a lot of grass. We got a lot of grassy plants and a lot of brown, crispy stuff that is the kind of thing that likes to burn when embers fall.
I'm sure. Any more talk small? Any more small talk?
I thought that was on purpose for that.
You never know with him.
I honestly think everything that Wade does is on purpose and completely calculated, and he just plays it off. He just does things like that, and he's all, well, I didn't mean to do that.
Whoa. I have had some real word salad moments. I don't know if you guys ever saw Boston Legal, but there was a whole, thing where, I forget which character it was. It's been so long. Was he the one that did the word salad? I thought it was Alan Shore.
Alan Shore, was, Denny Crane was Will Shatner's character, and Alan Shore was the main guy played by, what's his face, Blacklist guy.
I don't know this show at all.
You know Boston Legal?
Well, you both wanted to be lawyers, so yeah.
Yeah, somebody with the word salad thing. Basically, I don't know. I've had this thing lately where I'll go to say a sentence, especially if it's like a snarky one. Like the other day we were at dinner, and I was like making fun of my niece a little bit, like poking fun at her, and I went to say something, and just pure fucking gibberish came out of my mouth, and I was like, well, never mind. Guess I'm the idiot. That's happened to me a lot lately.
Mark, I think it's time to start talking about where we're going to put him, Mark. I think it's time to look through the pamphlets and find a home for him.
Wait, if you want to improve your word ability, you can't. So just give up. Look, you can accept the reality of where you are, or you can rage against the dying of the light. And hey, why do that?
Feeling the fog encroaching on the edges of your consciousness? Die, I guess. Sorry, we're human. No fixing that. See ya.
Mark, when you get a point later for motivational dick, just know that's where it came from.
Motivational.
Oh, God, not the motivational dick.
I find Mark's dick very motivational. I have to agree with that point.
The dick of motivation.
Is that the new Indiana Jones movie? Indiana Jones and the Dick of Motivation? It's actually an alien stick, and it comes to life when you put it back where it goes. And
it turns out taking that dick makes your brain explode because it was just too much for anyone to handle.
Only if you take the really fancy looking dick. If you take the plain one, that's the one Jesus would have. That was a different movie. Never go for the intricate fancy dick. Always go for the plain one.
That's actually the porn parody Indiana Bones and the Holy Nail.
The Holy Nail.
What was it? The Legend of the Holy? I don't forget what the movie was called.
Goblet of fire. That's not it.
What?
Some kind of drinky thing, right?
Did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? Indy, what have you done?
You struggle with social media addiction when you were younger. Many of us grew up on platforms designed to keep us hooked.
Did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? Indy, what have you done?
This episode is brought to you by Roblox. It's not my fault. It's not the companies that I'm subscribing to's fault. It's no one's fault. I'm perfect.
You know how many subscriptions you pay for? I don't. Probably a lot.
Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings.
So it's out a Twitch subscription. I won't say who, but I was like their longest subscribed person ever. But they were just like, this guy who never is in my stream is like on a 74-month streak of subscription, and I canceled it.
No! Wait, he's not gonna have your emotes anymore.
Oh man, you were my second longest.
Sorry, man. Rocket Money found it out.
Rocket Money's 5 million members have saved a total of $500 million. Canceled subscriptions with members saving up to $740 a year, and they use all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/distractible today. That's ROCKETMONEY.com/DISTRACTIBLE.
It looks like it hurt.
rocketmoney.com/distractible. Oh yeah, I gotta host an episode. Hey guys, welcome to Distractible. That was the small talk and us being ourselves portion. Now I get to put these two to the never mind. See what I mean?
I feel like that's on purpose. I don't believe you. I feel like it's on purpose. It's a scam, Mark. He's running a scam.
We've done a couple episodes where, or at least one episode, where we did like a how-to, and it was getting dumber. We would like give instructions, give worse instructions, worse. This time it might be similar, but instead of the descriptions getting dumber, I'm just gonna kind of give you guys weirder and weirder how-tos, and you're gonna tell me how to do it.
You're gonna give us how-tos, and
I'm gonna give you a prompt, and you're gonna describe how to do it.
oh, okay.
We are WikiHow.
Let's start with something real simple.
Who goes first? I'll flip a coin.
Tails is Mark.
Great. So Bob, you'll go first.
Okay.
You flip the coin.
I think I just scratched my microphone. It's fine.
Bob, how do you organize your workspace for maximum productivity?
I'm gonna have a really hard time trying to sincerely do this and not just giving shitty, yet more stupider style advice, but organize workspace for maximum productivity. As Adam Savage says, it's all about having the tools that you use most frequently to hand. It's not about aesthetics, and it's not about hiding things away. An efficient, productive workspace is put together in a way so that you have to move your hands the shortest possible distance to grab the tools that you use most. So it depends what you do. For me, I have my distractible coin, my points notebook, all of my computer accoutrement, my ever-growing legion of fidget toys that make way too much noise, but I use them anyway, and all the drugs I need to be the man I am on camera, all within arm's reach on my desk. And then, then as you move further away into deeper sorts, then you have to stop where it's like, well, I only get that out once a week, so that goes the scavenger item that is. I have a battery charging station. You only really need to swap batteries out if you're doing something. Like if you burn through a whole camera battery, you're probably doing a bigger project. So that's like the batteries live in their special cabinet and their charging station, stuff like that. Like I don't need to break it down in too much detail, but it's about having things tank, and you have to decide. The hard work is you have to figure out which tools do I constantly grab for, what things do I need in arm's reach from where I'm doing most of my work, and then you just go from there.
Hole in the hand is worth two in your bush.
Oh.
Organize your workspace for maximum.
Alphabetically, everyone knows that's the first thing people think of. If you don't think of alphabetically, you're dumb. And also, they changed the alphabet. You know that?
I did know that.
Yeah, LMNOP or whatever the hell it is.
No, they broke it up so that there's a break in between LM. Yeah.
LMNOP. I don't even know if that's repeated when it goes like that. I can't do that.
It feels sacrilegious. I hate it.
I'm okay with that. But they also changed the words Z. It's like, it's something else. I don't know. Not now I know my ABCs.
Does it occur to you that you have learned the A, B, and C's because now you are friends with me, like it or not?
I think that it might be actually, it's like the grocery cart test. If the kid can't understand that LMNOP is not one word, and it's LMNOP because I understood that as a child. That is, when you sing that, LMNOP is different things. But a lot of kids apparently think that is one word. But that's a shopping cart test. Is that kid worthy of being in society at all? Can they differentiate LMNOP?
If they can't, throw them in a fucking volcano.
If they can't do it, they just have to live life without those letters. Only the smartest among us get L, M, N, O, and P.
I didn't know minnow was a letter of the alphabet. We figured it the fuck out. Why can't they?
No, I definitely had a moment where that came up, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna I'll just do the old way. And I was like, yeah, buddy, sing your alphabet. And he got there, and James was like, H-I-J-K, P. Yeah, I was like, oh, fuck, it is a problem. No. Wait, what was the new one go? Shit.
Anyway, alphabetically, organize your space. Alphabetically. It works every time.
So what do? We go back and forth? I have to do a stupider one now, or what's the rules here?
No, let's move on to the next topic.
Oh, okay.
Your answers can be as straightforward or silly as you want them to be.
I just want to throw out that I would like to change my official answer to Dewey Decimal System.
I would like to propose a Dewey Decimal System. There's not loudness.
How about Stewie's decimated system?
Uh-huh.
All right, Mark, how do you perfectly soft boil an egg?
I actually know this one.
Know this one.
This one. You buy that artificial egg. So they make this thing that's a timer. It's probably leaches plastic into it. Let's be honest, because it seems like it's plastic. There's fine. But there's something in it that is a heat changing colored thingamabob. It changes color with heat, right? So as it changes, it's in tune with what an egg would cook at. So you see, and inside it starts to reveal, or I forget if it's like it's opaque or it starts opaque, or no, start transparent, becomes opaque in line with like the cook. So you got soft on there, medium, hard, and it is pretty accurate. Also, you drop your eggs in when they're boiling. When it's boiling, you don't raise the temperature of it you don't set them in cold and raise the temperature because you don't know. Sometimes it takes different time to get up to temperature. You set it in when it's boiling so you know. And I know some people are like, oh, the shell will crack. They're like, well, your egg will be bad if you do it the other way. You won't know. And you got sulfurous, stinky eggs.
I really enjoy. I was like, oh, you actually knows how to tell this. And like, I love that your first thing was you buy the cheesiest tool.
I don't know what the actual answer of math would be.
Mark, you're never going to have a calculator when you need to do calculus in your adult life, okay?
Since when have you had a calculator handy when you have to do a differential equation?
Mrs. Grimsby was right, and tools are for idiots who can't do calculus.
Yeah, Adam Savage is a bastard, and having tools within arm's reach is dumb and also a little beta behavior, let's be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Adam, we know you're a big fan of the show. I'm sorry.
Well, we're not a big fan of you.
Get out.
We all speak for each other here.
Editors put him on an island because he's alone.
Put him in Guam! I'm here in Guam.
I still don't understand why Guam was the ocean. It's fine. It's not important. It's fine. It's the lost city of Guam, also known as Atlantis, apparently. Soft boil an egg. It's even easier. You still need a tool, but you just need a tool that can do time stuff. It's 6.5 minutes. Hard boil, like Mark said, don't put your eggs in cold water and put them on the stove. Get the water to a hard boil, eggs in, 6.5 minutes, straight out of the boiling water into an ice bath. Boom. Perfectly soft boiled. It depends on your elevation, but unless you live on fucking Mount Everest or something, it's between 6.5 and 7 minutes, and once you do it once, you'll know if you need the pattern subtract like 5 or 10 seconds from it. For me, it's 6.5 minutes.
I forgot about the ice bath. That is a crucial part.
Yeah, because otherwise you never get soft-boiled eggs, because if you take them out and you just even if you take them out of the water and you set them on the counter, they're so hot that they'll just turn into medium or hard-boiled eggs on their own. Gotta shock them. Gotta stop those bitches.
And that helps with removing the shell.
Have you guys seen the trick where before you hard boil your eggs, you hold it, and on the fat, like, there's kind of like a wide end and like a skinny end, on the fat end of the egg, you just like tap it with a spoon, and it doesn't break the outer shell, but if you tap it in the right way, it'll do like a little pop, and that has something to do with an inside structure of the egg itself that will make the shell remove even more cleanly when you then boil it, then ice bath it, then try and peel it. It's weird. I saw it on like TikTok, and I was like, that doesn't work. And then I tried it once, and it actually works, and it's really, I don't understand what it is.
I know that there's a ton of different methods to peel an egg, but also I don't know why, but I've never had trouble with it. Only because, I don't know, my mom is really good at peeling eggs. Like, she gets almost perfect every time, no matter which way. And she'll just like randomly throw an egg in a pot. It'll come out perfectly boiled. She'll be able to like one-handed take the shell off, and then it's like there's an egg. And so I kind of learned from her. And one of the other things is like once you start a crack, have a small stream of water and have the water pour right onto the crack so they can get under the layer. Because as soon as it gets under the layer, that can help separate it out. That's a good tip too.
And if you're really inept with your hands, if you take a small Tupperware and put a little, like a quarter inch of water in it and put the egg in, you can literally just shake the egg in the water and open it after 10-20 seconds, and you'll have the only danger is it might rupture the white a little bit, but if you like don't want any effort, that also totally works.
That's pretty cool. There's a physical phenomenon, and I forget what it's called, but there's a difference between how things crack or interact or cut in air versus in water. Like, I forget what the experiment was. It was something like a knife or...
I'm sure it has something to do with fluid dynamics. And
yeah. It's something about how water's in
water surface tension.
Yeah. So, like, whatever the shock was in the material or something like that. I don't remember what it is, but there's something about water itself.
Everybody can make soft-boiled eggs. I forgot about the ice bath thing. I don't do eggs like that a lot, but I remember I feel like my family built like a sink with water for like ice and stuff in it.
Yeah, if you want sauce, you need the ice because it needs to stop cooking. It has to.
Yeah. All right, Bob, I think you're first this time.
I feel like we're just giving really good advice this episode. I feel like this is a valuable episode.
How do you befriend a crow?
Peanuts. Crows love peanuts. And it's counterintuitive, but what they really respond to is you get shelled peanuts, or you take them out of the shell, and you gotta try and huck them and bounce them right off their forehead. And it's not like a power dynamic thing or anything. It's just they really respect that.
That's why Ethan will never befriend crows.
It's one of his greatest failures as a person. Crows game respect game, and crows just, if you nail them right between the eyes with a peanut, and then they get to eat the peanut, it's like the perfect combo of instantly, like one perfect shot, boom, friends for life.
It's like me with steak. You hit me with the forehead with a fillet, I'm just like, thanks.
I mean, yeah, if someone started throwing well-cooked fillets at me, Bob, you're actually right. I don't know if you said peanuts offhand or if you actually do.
No, I did know that.
Okay, they love peanuts. And there actually has been a family of crows. This was the story I was going to say.
Murder of crows, even. Don't murder my crows.
A Cheryl's of crows.
What was the movie Crowman? The Crow. There's been a family of crows with them tree.
And, you know, they steal whatever they want because they're crows and they're very smart and they do. You know, Amy's setting out water for them every day. So, because we have a pool and they drink water, and they've appreciated that. So she has actually befriended the crows. The crows really like her. They tolerate me, but you know they actually actively like her. And the dogs actually are kind of comfortable. So they land in the yard, and then Chica and Henry don't chase after them. And so it's kind of weird. Like there's this ecosystem growing. I almost sabotaged it because here's how you don't befriend a crow, and this will teach you how to befriend a crow. By example of not, I had a banana peel. I walked across the yard and I had a banana and I ate the banana and I had a peel and I was like, oh, the trash can. It's biodegradable, right? But then I see a crow, right? It's up on a branch right above me, maybe like 20 feet away. A decent distance, and I was like, oh, I'll throw the crow generally, or I'll throw the banana generally in that direction. And then maybe if they want the banana peel, they can have it. If not, it'll land in dirt and it'll leak, right? Because I had the most perfect throw of my life. The crow was on the branch, and I just randomly go like, there you go, and it arcs
exactly where that crow was, and it had to go like miss it by an inch. The banana peel landed on the branch where it was standing. It would have wrapped around that crow. Actually, I think it's a raven. I'm almost positive it's a raven. Which that quote doesn't make any sense because I look at these ravens. There's a bird app that hears the sound of the bird and it tells you what bird it is, and there's a very distinct difference between crows and ravens, right? I look at these ravens and I'm still like, I don't know if it's a crow or not.
I was actually just gonna bring that up.
Yeah, some people that like that adage suggests that these are like bald eagle-sized birds, and they're not. They're the size of a hawk, and a hawk is pretty big, but also like a raven is not a gigantic pterodactyl flying across your house. Like they're suggesting like it's some B-27 bombers going by. Like no,
That's exactly what I looked up. That's so funny. No, because I saw that on the subreddit. People were like, they don't know the difference between a crow and a raven. When you see a raven, you'll fucking know. Because ravens are like monster. And I looked it up. And the crows compare in size to a pigeon, which is a medium small bird. And ravens are, it said, about the size of a red-tailed hawk. And I was like, what is that, like the size of a big pigeon? That's not a dramatic enough size difference. They're not that big.
I know, and what's crazy is we have red-tailed hawks here where we are. It was a hawk nesting ground, and so hawks and crows fucking hate each other. So there's bird war going on in the skies above us, and we still don't know if they're ravens or crows. Well, we're pretty sure they're ravens.
You can tell the red-tailed hawks from the crows, right?
No, Mark, if it was a raven, you would fucking know. Okay? There's no like, oh, is it a raven? It's nothing you would know.
Its eyes glow red, its laser vision can chop trees down. It's nuts, these ravens.
Anyway, that's how you. That answers your question.
Mark, I think this one's perfect for you. Don't be offended.
Mark.
How to fake knowing sports during a conversation.
Oh, I'm not offended by that one. Yes, I do it a lot. Oh wait, I feel like I've answered this specific question before, so it's something similar. No, there was someone that it was on Go that I answered this question for somebody like, hey, I don't really know sports that well, and it was like you just got to learn a few key phrases, you just got to ask like, do you think that's going to be his year? Whenever they say anything. Just say like, wow, he's not doing the same as last week, not implying better or worse. They'll fill in the gap for you. And you ask questions like that. And or you ask like, what's his stats this year? I haven't looked them up. And then they'll just start and then by the time that they're done talking, the game will be over and you will escape them. And then if they don't like one player, bring that one player up at every opportunity and compare every other player to that player. There's a Tom Brady in the world for every Tyler Scheid out there. You can find who that is and you can make them think about that person they hate forever.
Good deflection. Good deflection strategies.
So it's a flat balance. TV's biggest phenomenon are downstreaming. The situation is about to come to an end.
How do you know?
Because I'm about to take it there.
All right.
Good deflection. Good deflection strategies. Bob?
I don't disagree with Mark's, I guess, but mine is if you find yourself in a situation where you hang out with a lot of sports people on a regular basis, that's the thing you need. All you need is one news story that anyone, even if they don't care about that specific sport, will know about and will have strong hot takes on. Like, for example, right now, all you need ready to go, and honestly, it's an interesting thing to follow anyway, so like it's fun and well, I don't know if fun's the right word, but it's interesting to read up on what's been happening. Caitlin Clark. You just mentioned Caitlin Clark to a sports person, even if they don't care about the WNBA, even if they don't care about basketball, if you just have a little tidbit or a very lukewarm take about Caitlin Clark and be like, oh, did you see the season Caitlin Clark's having? Can't believe she didn't make the All-Stars this year or whatever. Boom. The entire room will get in on that shit, and you don't have to worry about contributing anything. And there's always something like that, right? Like, right now, Caitlin Clark is probably the biggest one I know of, but there's always something where it's like, oh, did you hear that Brady did or said something, or somebody's gonna come out of it? There's always something. So you just need like that one thing, because you can use it over and over. It's like every weekend you go and football season or whatever, and you bring up Caitlin Clark again, because then they will all know, like, oh yeah, this week, did you see Stephen A. said some stupid thing about Caitlin Clark and blah, blah, blah. They'll just take over. They got that.
Fair enough. Unironically, I do want to go see one of her games because, like, Indianapolis is not that far from Cincinnati.
I don't watch any form of basketball at all. Caitlin Clark highlights are wild. Literally, she's just like running at half court, and we'll just be like, "What? 3 points? Like, what the fuck? I didn't know you could shoot from that far away. Jesus Christ!"
As someone who hasn't watched a lot, I don't know what it is about her that has like made the WNBA and like women's college basketball kind of like blow up. But like, as someone who's never really consumed a lot of it, I want to go to a game and watch. Like, especially one where she plays as Angel Reese. I forget what team.
Yeah, Angel Reese, and she on Chicago.
But like, I want to see one of those games.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy stuff.
I want to show you something that makes me laugh really, really hard. Because if you remember, someone made like a unapproved book about me, right? Okay.
Sure.
I don't know if this one is approved or not, but it really makes me laugh. I've never seen this format of book before, but this is a book titled "Who is Caitlin Clark?"
What?
That's if for those that are listening, if you look up the #1 New York Times best-selling series, "Who is Caitlin Clark?" It's by Mary Jo Borzilleri. It's spelled exactly like it sounds.
I mean, it says number one New York Times best-selling book, so it must be sanctioned. I don't know, whatever, permitted.
It must be. I've never seen this before, and as a guy who puts my head on bodies for thumbnails almost all the time, really funny to me.
That's a big head. Bob, how do you become king during a zombie apocalypse?
I see two paths. One of them involves a lot of cigarettes. Like, you need to control the cigarette supply. You need to have all the cigarettes. And the other one involves convincing everyone that you can talk to the zombies. The cigarettes one, I feel like, is pretty obvious. That there's always something, and like in a post-apocalyptic world, everyone's like, I need a smoke or a drink or something, right? Like, there's always something. That's just like, if you control the flow, you control the power, you become the one in charge, sort of deal.
That's so smart because you can stockpile a lot more cigarettes than you could like bags of food. So you just fill the bomb shelter with nothing but rows and rows of vape cartridges, rechargeable ones, cigarettes, all devices.
A vape that's just photovoltaic cells on the outside, so as long as you set your vape out in the sun, it recharges, and you can vape. Vape anything, man.
I have liquid, Greg. Can you vape me?
Give yourself a point there. Vape pretty much anything with nipples. But the other one I feel like is also self-explanatory. It just goes in a very different way. It's in the post-apocalyptic times, everyone's going to get increasingly superstitious, right? Like, society breaks down, scientific knowledge is lost, everyone forgets how things work. All you need is like one friend in a very convincing, disgusting zombie costume, or this setup. And you just need to convince a colony of people that you are the one who can talk to the zombies. And it's very like, maybe you do sacrificial rituals and that keeps them away, or this sort of thing. Like, it's very like culty, sort of, right? But you just need to be the one who is the cult leader. You basically become the de facto king, because there's no social media. No one's going to be snooping around Facebook groups debunking all of your cult. Who's going to undermine a cult in a world where you can only talk to people in person and there's no internet and all that bullshit? That's why it was so much easier to have a cult back in the day, because no one talked to nobody. As long as you could control the phone line or whatever, or the telegram, probably, boom, cult. Easy peasy. Everyone just believes you. As long as you're charismatic enough and you tell the right story, easy. King of the world.
I had a cult how-to, Bob, and you just predicted cult things, so I gotta give you an extra point for predicting cult.
I'm welcome.
I see two paths.
Right.
Sounds familiar.
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
You can be king of the people, or you can just be straight up king of the zombies. King in a zombie apocalypse. The people are gonna keep fighting. Everyone's gonna want to be king. Everyone's gonna be fighting for that. No one's fighting for the zombies. It's very similar to what Bob was saying. You get an elaborate scheme going.
Give the zombies some cigarettes.
Get the zombies nice and addicted. Yeah, you give them because I believe that if zombies are broken down to their base instincts, they would really love cocaine. So you get all these zombies hopped up on cocaine, and then you hold the spot. You give them for free at first, and then they're all like, "Oh, which means it's great. I love this stuff.
Yeah.
Great. I love it. Let's go find some party going on." And then they're following you, and then they get in withdrawal, and they get desperate. That's when they're manipulatable. And so you manipulate the zombies into being your subjects, and then you make them kill everybody, and then you are king of the zombies.
This also sounds like a cult. You get them addicted, you take back the product, and they listen.
That's what I said exactly that. I said exactly that. But I had this idea before Bob was even talking, so.
Sure.
It's a victim of going second, unfortunately.
That's fair.
I'll take my cult opponent.
You guys keep holding your hand up. It's right there for you.
All right. Ooh, why is it wet?
Because I had liquid, Greg. Mark, you are first this time.
Bob, don't steal my idea. Come on now.
I already had my idea. Mark's a liar.
How do you train geese to be your personal security detail?
How do you?
Yeah, that's what he's asking. It could be longer than 2 sentences, Mark. Don't worry.
Yeah, here, let me lead you off. I needed geese to be my security detail.
All right, so let's list what we know about geese, right? Geese, they long neck, right? Rounded. They got a choker, beak, wings, kind of black and gray thing going on there. They travel south for the winter, so they're only going to be reliable half the year. Unless you are relocating.
Canada. Okay. Canada with you.
Canada.
Huh?
Move to Canada. There's geese there. Finally, I'm holding up my thumb for people that are listening.
Move to Canada is how to train your geese to be personal security detail. All right. Bob, don't steal his idea now.
I had this idea before Mark said anything. Are there geese? You know what's right next to Canada? Alaska. No. Mine is even easier. You don't have to move anywhere. All you have to do is make 12 easy payments of $39.99, and you can get yourself a full set of my How to Train Geese to Be Your Bodyguards DVD training video set. It comes with practice billy clubs and high visibility jackets and goose-sized security hats. They love those. And it's a 300 video series. All you have to do is get the geese locked in a room with the TV and play them in sequence, and they'll go from random wild geese that you've gathered up at your neighborhood pond all the way up to the most highly trained personal security force anyone could want in the entire world. There's one other part of it. You do have to offer health care.
Harder and harder to do in this world.
Yeah. No, it's funny. You'd think they're all wild animals and they're from different places consistently across the board, except for one group in Canada. All of them ended up hanging up on, you have to offer us comprehensive health care or we're going to take our services elsewhere. So that's an important part of it. But the DVDs are really the main thing to get in. And there's 12 easy payments, $39.99.
What a good answer. You didn't have to answer. You just had to get us to pay to buy your book. Now, if I buy these DVDs and they all say move to Canada, I'm going to be very upset.
Can I be an affiliate of his product? Can I get some kickback points? Can I affiliate your product and sell it myself to my audience?
But you want to help him with his idea.
Yeah, but I'll get some points.
Okay, Mark, you can. Yeah. I will sell for an upfront investment of $5,000. I will sell you a supply of these DVDs, and then you can go and sell those on the margin. But the way that you make your money back is you recruit 3 of your friends to buy in for $5,000 of their own. And since I'm your upfeed sales goose, I get everything flows up. All rivers flow up, like they say. I get 98% of their buy-ins, and you get 2%. But then when they each get 3 friends to buy in, you get 90%, and it's math, and I don't want to get into it. But
is this a gaggle mitts scheme?
We prefer to think of it as a flying V scheme. Honk,
honk, honk, honk, honk, honk, honk. Please, don't leave us. Honk, honk, honk. I run out on stage at a convention center to a room full of 1,000 people in a goose costume, just like, who's ready to show some DVD? Anyway, that's all you need to get your goose security force off the ground. It's a very good product.
Bob, you're up first here. How do you properly motivate your houseplant?
I was having a discussion with a biologist, a biostatistician who studies genetics and evolution in flowering plants. We were having a discussion, and the question came up of like, is it true if you like play music for your plants or like sing to them, is that good for them? And he was like, actually, probably it would be best if you just like gently like tap them or like flick them every once in a while. They respond to that. Or maybe like have like a fan blowing, but like if you just like that, they like that. From a biologist's mouth to your ears, that'd be my official advice. Just walk around a few times a day and just hit them with a little like, and then it really lights their fire, you know.
Do we know why?
Something about the physical stimulus of like the wind blowing outdoors activates something in the plant structure. I don't know. I'm not the biologist here.
Isn't there something like that with rain? Like rain falling hits leaves with force, right? So it would hit it and it would probably be like, it's raining! Open the roots! You know, it probably something like that.
That's a great point that I get points for.
I like contributing to your ideas too. It's a give it a take. And, I won't do it anymore. Really.
I'll take it.
All right, fine. My turn?
Yeah.
I see two paths. As Al Capone once said, you can rule by love or you can rule by fear. You either rule by love.
What was that accent? Was that
Prison Mark? Was that you?
I said Al Capone. You can rule by love. I think he actually said you can rule by fear or you can rule by love. Both in Al Capone's mind involves a gun. So the fear is you are going to shoot. The love is you don't shoot because you love them. So you hold a gun up to your plant and you say, be motivated to do plant things or my taxes or I am going to shoot you. Are you with Ed?
Have you ever been to Atlantic City? Yeah, I know that scene. Yeah.
And if that plant doesn't give you an answer you like,
yeah, well, you only have to kill one plant to rule the rest of the plants with fear, right? So
wait till the plant seeds and like has little plants growing, and then you kidnap its little plants and hold them at shear point.
TikTok has over 50 preset safety and privacy settings to protect teens. Plus, as a parent, I set up family pairing to help shape my teen's experience on the app. Because when safety comes first, discovery can follow.
All right, let's take out some enemy troops here, get some early game coins before things get too hectic. Oh, we need 4 more, okay? There's 2 there, and there's...
Let's try to squeeze one more in here. Mark, how do you permanently remove your shadow?
They already did it! I don't think about my shadow very much, and now that you mention it, I'm just like, where the fuck is my shadow?
He's not seen it in a while.
Shadows are the absence of light, so logically it would follow that if there was no light, there would be no shadow. So if you get rid of the sun, and ban light, you have to ban light, then there will be no shadows. Because darkness is not one big shadow, right? Or is it? Oh, man. Wait, you like philosophical questions. If there was no light, is everything in shadow, or is shadow the true state of things, and therefore is it something else? Because shadow implies that something is occluding the light, but if there's no light to occlude, what is shadow?
Okay, well, I guess if there's 2 ways, I see 2 paths.
I'm in charge.
Based on what you're saying, you either have infinite amount of light where there can be no shadow, or solid blackness where there can be no shadow because there is no light. If in both cases there is no shadow, are both things the same?
No, they're categorically not.
then how would you qualify that as different? Is one pure shadow?
One's light and one's dark. What do you mean? I solved it. I'm a philosopher. The shadow has nothing to do with whether there is or is not light in the universe. The shadow has to do with whether there's a source of light that you include as a physical object.
Is casting pure darkness getting rid of the shadow, or just...
Darkness isn't cast, it exists.
So if I get rid of the sun, there's no shadows. So that answers it?
I know there's lots of other stuff that emits light in the universe, but
it all basically comes from stars. It's like, that's where the mostly comes. Because even if you take the material of a star that was formed and turn it into energy and turn it into light, it can't. We're all.
Oh, okay.
Get rid of the stars, you get rid of the light.
So make more shadow, or just remove light to get rid of...
There is a point where you get exponentially more shadow, but hey, if you believe at the top of the pyramid of making shadows, there's a point where it's like, no shadows. So,
the limit does not exist.
Well, okay, maybe it does. Maybe.
Bob, how would you get rid of the shadow?
I just want to say I thought of this before Wade said it out loud, but I see two paths. And I thought of path number one before Mark said it out loud. I had an even better idea. I was originally going to say destroy the sun, but but Mark made a good point. If you're just making light bulbs out of material that was a star anyway, you know what the problem is? Big Bang. What you do is buy a safe from Costco. They have safes there. Go back to right before the Big Bang happens and lock it in there. Prevent that bitch from ever banging. No stars form. No light is emitted. No shadows could ever exist or ever have existed. Boom.
Let's get Neil deGrasse Tyson on this podcast. See what he thinks of these ideas.
Path number two. And I thought of this before the subreddit complained about it. What we need to do is develop AI so that it will help humanity evolve as fast as possible. Develop AI tools that help humanity develop, that make cooler AI tools, and all we're doing is accelerating to the point where all consciousness is subsumed into one singularity, which is a being of pure energy and thus light, and that which emits light does not cast a shadow.
That is two paths.
Have you ever thought of the concept of true nothingness?
Why did she turn into a joker?
Never tell you how nothingness the base of the hero.
Why does anything exist? Not even like why life, why does anything exist in the first place? But also beyond that is like, why should it exist? But also the counter that what even is not existing at all? And then you start to think about that, and like, that's true shadow.
Do you think there's a theoretical, like even just one singularly small definable point in the universe or in existence, perhaps in one of the multiple universes, or however physics might define it, where there actually is nothing, including background radiation, including light emitted from the most distant of stars, like just as a thought experiment, could that exist? A point where there just isn't anything, including anything that could exist in any metaphysical way?
I don't think so. I mean, I have no scientific basis. Like,
none of us do. That's fine.
Yeah, that's not going to stop us.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Neil deGrasse. I say two paths, yes or no? All right, what's that guy's name? The fucking
Jordan Peterson?
Yeah, Jordan Peterson. How do you know exactly what I was talking about? Jordan Peterson.
I don't know. Something about how you were thinking. I was like, that looks like Jordan Peterson. Yeah.
Yes or no? Nothingness.
In one sense, yes, but at the same time, no.
There's like because like real absolute nothing, for nothing to be nothing and absolutely nothing. It's kind of that asymptote of impossibility of like if it's in the universe it can't be nothing, but everything outside of the universe would technically be nothing. But would it? Because true nothing would be like nothing existing at all. ever, and it's like, what even is that state? It's something that we can't comprehend. But in the universe, for there to be a pocket of nothing, I don't think that's true, because even like most pockets of nothing have been touched once by light passing through it, and therefore that's fabric of the universe. And what is the fabric of?
Unless there's a safe floating around that we put nothing in prior to the Big Bang, and then that safe made it into the universe.
If we all start a big bucket brigade and we start putting the stuff, passing along into the safe, we'll all eventually get to nothingness. So if we all start today, I think we'll get there. You ever heard of the starfish story? Where you got starfish on a beach, and you throw that into the nothingness, and you're like, hey, do you exist or not, fish? It's yes.
2019 charity stream now?
I see 2 bass for you, fish. God, you give me $1, or I'm throwing you this fucking ocean. What's gonna be, starfish?
You can raise money for charity with fear or with love. I see 2 paths.
I like the 2 paths that's come out of this. I hope that meme lives on. It won't, but I hope it does.
Dear Path House Forum.
In one sense, it's a pile of hay. In another, the greatest lover you've ever known.
You just know there's absolutely a clip out there of Jordan Peterson. Someone poses a question and he's like, I see 2 paths. Like 100%.
Allegedly. Alright, let me go through points. I think that's what we're doing now. We're doing points, then we're doing the other thing.
Hey, you do whatever you want, man.
Well, actually, I'll start with me, I guess. I'm the easy one. Right. I have 1 point for I have Liquid Greg. Can you bake me? Bob, you have points for Musical Baby. Up to the box. Coin flip. Adam Savage. Eggs, 6.5 minutes. Ice Witch? No, Ice Bath? Ice Bath.
Ice Bath.
Peanut Crow. Did the Bob mocking voice. Tony Stark, Scraps in a Cave. The Cigarette King. Cult prediction, which I actually didn't even do the cult one, but he predicted I had it on the list. Caitlin Clark, Geese Book of Information, Light versus Dark, AI, Flick Your Nuts? No, Flick Your Plants. Do I get any points for the Jesus Christ? How many points you get?
I'm sure you got a lot of points too, buddy.
2 paths.
I got the I see 2 paths.
There's a lot of points for 2 paths. I'm not gonna lie, Mark has more points for 2 paths than you do, even though you originated it because you did the callback like twice. But I brought it back, so I was the first callback, right?
Oh, Mark accidentally pieced himself away, editors. Mark needs to be invisible now.
That's gonna be a rule to next council. If you ever make this, you have to just your camera.
If you happen to do this for some reason, you peace out.
What universe in a safe? Bob, that's a total of 18 points.
That's enough to win, unless it's not. I see 2 paths.
No more points, but I like it. Mark, you got points for Minority Report, Blueberry, Amy's something horror, Motivational Dick, Fake Egg, Amy's Crow Ecosystem, Perfect Banana, Sports Pro, 2 paths, callback. That was before I knew it was going to be a big thing. King of the Zombies, 2 paths again. Mob torture, probably mob torture. Move to Canada, remove the sun, philosophy, and Rain Point Assist Bob. That puts you at 16 points.
All right.
Bob is currently ahead by 2 going into this.
Damn. All right, even if I get 3 half, I don't even think I have a half point for Mark.
I don't think you do.
You know what? Half point for Mark. Put it on the wheel.
All right, we'll do that in a second. Let's see how many spins we get first, shall we?
Need at least 2.
2 it is. Let's try. Come on. Don't put half a point for Mark on the board. Don't put it.
No, I'm so sorry, but that's what I'm adding.
Fuck. It's okay.
2 spins.
Hello, brothers and sisters. If you've ever been groomed, inappropriately touched, or abused by anyone connected to the world,
Okay. 2 spins. Folks, locked in.
I'm not gonna lie, I got a lot of fucking tabs open. You had callbacks, but callbacks is the most locked in. The one I would say you struggled with the two sentence. What was the topic where you were just like
It was the goose one.
I might have to give that one to Bob, which kind of there's still a chance. There's still sudden death.
There's chances. Hey, look, half point for Wade is right next to half point for Mark, even though I shuffled it 3 times.
Come on, golf rules. Come on, sudden death. I had a great time, but
I feel like we were all having a pretty good time, but Mark did have a very good time.
You know what, Mark? I'll give you the point. You can have it. So the final score is Bob with 19, Mark with 17. All right, Bob, you won. Congratulations. Winner speech.
Feels good to win. It feels almost like I won last time, and then also somehow at the same time I didn't win, thanks to the wheel, but like I did on the merits. Anyway, I'm not gonna. I let that go. I'm not holding on to that because I've won today, and I earned it. And I see 2 paths. I think the next episode is either going to be really, really good, and we're all going to have a great time, or maybe Wade and I have a handshake deal. Maybe we'll have to talk about that later. I guess we'll find out.
Well said, Mark.
today's loser speech is brought to you by Venmo. You've probably heard of Venmo, but did you know that Venmo is more for paying friends behind everyone's back to try to bribe them for a win? It's true! With the Venmo debit card, you can spend your balance in so many ways. Like Wade, I could send you a bunch of money because you're such a good friend to me.
A little late on that.
A little late. Okay, sadly for me, I can't Venmo my way out of being a loser. So, yes, I didn't do my best at some of those answers. But hey, there's only one path for me. I want everyone to see videos of themselves crying. Flooded with tears. Subreddit defend me. Once again, loser speech brought to you by Venmo. You won't be crying with Venmo's new debit card. Whatever your thing is, you can pay for it with the Venmo debit card. Visit venmo.me/debit to learn more. Venmo purchase certification of Black Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. Pursuant to license by MasterCard International. Everyone MasterCard is accepted. I didn't read that any faster than that.
No, that was just kind of mumbly, yeah.
Venmo purchase restrictions apply to Venmo. MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. Pursuant to the license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Card may be used everywhere MasterCard is accepted.
Well, good shows. Bob will be hosting the next one. Appreciate you, boys. You can follow Bob at MySkirm, Mark at Markiplier, me at Minion777, or Lord Minion777. We'll find out whenever someone else says something about it. Until then, podcast out.
When your teen joins TikTok, they're protected with over 50 preset safety and privacy settings. Because when safety comes first, discovery can follow. Hey, even dads need dad advice sometimes.
I only got 5 cards left, so this should be easy. I only got 3 cards, so I think this one's... I got 2 cards left, so...
Good evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Distractable. This week, Easy Rider Bob tells us how to outwit the corporate giants on tall trees. Movie-making Mark explains why later seasons of Heroes suck, and relates his encounters with pyramid schemers. 60% farmer Wade starts vexed with call centers, but gets the giggles later. From Elon Musk to churches for lawyers. Yeah. It's time for I Wasn't Ready. Now sit back and prepare to be distracted and enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, welcome to the podcast. Distractable podcast. That was an intentional transition from nothing. I hope you're all doing well. If you've never been here before, welcome to your first time. If you're back, why are you here still? What? You are, so I guess we'll move on. Got him. What kind of pessimistic opening is this? This is so What's happening to you?
I don't know, man.
Are you still recovering from your laugh?
That was a week ago, man.
I know, but you're still making weird noises.
I don't even remember it.
Oh. Who are you, me? I never remember anything. Oh, boy. Did we make any secret handshake deals I need to be made aware of before this episode kicks off?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, good. Now,
I watched you drink some soda, I drank, or whatever it was, I drank some water, and Mark down the bowl of chili.
Can of water.
Oh, okay. Got bucket? Bottle of water myself.
I got a bucket of water. I find it easiest to get access to the bucket, what with the open top.
Dude, I don't know if you've seen, but like Starbucks has like a Trenta-sized thing now. It's basically a bucket of coffee. It's so
Great. What is Trenta? What does that mean?
It's bigger than Venti. I don't know, but it's big. It's really big.
Oh, what is that word? It's 31 ounces. But what is Trenta?
I saw you could get it.
What does Trenta mean?
It means 30. Oh, but it's a 31 ounce cup.
Ah, so maybe it's Trent-ish. I know how things work.
I don't know why I'm laughing so much at that, but good joke, I guess. You got me.
And this was an intro-ish. It was kind of an intro. If you've never been here, there's a show where we bullshit like we just did. We met some funny host. They make up shit, give away points, declare a winner, next person hosts, and things happen. We talk about whatever we want to because that's just who we are. And I think I'm legally obligated for small talk. So, how are you guys? I'm saying this because I care, not because of the obligation. Because I care, not because of the obligation.
You know, Bob, we could leave. We could just go.
The door is right there.
The door is right there.
Your door's in shot. You don't even have to pretend to leave like I could. I wouldn't pretend. I would leave. I can leave. I can leave this room whenever I want.
That's what they tell you.
Kudos to you, host.
You know, I wasn't prepared for this, Bob, but 2 points.
Oh, thank you.
2 points to Bob.
What if I do it? Kudos to Wados.
I'll give you 1 point because it's not sad the attempt to recreate.
Mark has forgotten how to laugh, everybody.
If you didn't watch last episode, then you have no idea why this is happening, and that's okay.
If you didn't watch it till the end, you definitely don't know what's happening.
I'm good. Since you sincerely asked and are generally interested, I'm good. It's the weather's getting nice here in Northern California. That's a fun time. Yeah, that's it, I guess. You guys don't hear about the baby anymore. Baby takes a lot of time. It's all baby stuff still.
I have been doing a lot of research and making a few purchases in relation to camera equipment, and most of it has come in.
Look at this thing!
Wow. Ooh, that's a DJI Ronin. Oh, it is a Ronin.
It is. It's a Ronin.
I too can read R-O-N-I-N.
Hey, I knew that before it was on screen. Okay, so.
Who didn't Ronin?
No, awful. Minus 2 points to you.
All right, cool. No, this is one of many things. I got this. I got the new Komodo X, which I'm very excited to use. I got some sweet lenses that everyone else on the internet said was garbage and overpriced. But I went, I want those, and I bought them.
You silly fool. Shouldn't you have the equipment before you film the movie, not after? They would tell you not to edit. You don't need to film it. Buying lenses for the post process. Silly fool. Got him. 2 points for me. Oh, sometimes it makes me laugh. Sometimes it makes me laugh. I'm like a Build-A-Bear that got messed up in the build process, but you kept it anyway and got it for a discount.
Yeah, that's what makes you so adorable. But with the stuff I've been getting, I've just been very excited because one of the things that I want to do after I'm done with this one, of course, is obviously make more. But I want to go back to how we did, like, not we, you and I, but like with Who Killed Markiplier and like Day with Markiplier, where it's just like going out and making something. But now we can make it to such a higher level because I know more, and like, you know, we all know more and have experience with these crews. And it's not like I don't ever want to work on a big project with a big crew again. But at the same time,
part of the reason why I love YouTube is just being able to do individual creation. So being able to do that to a level that could be out in theaters or you could watch on any of the streaming platforms and stuff like that. That's what I want to do.
I'm going to give you a point. I just remember being so brave.
When I think about my dream of just making really, really high quality running gun content and just really, it just makes me, you know, I feel the same way, man.
I feel you're creative, trying to escape from your body right now. You just want to go create so badly.
Absolutely.
Just contain it a little longer, pal.
That's actually how Mark is on the set. The assistant, the AD comes over is like, Mark, we're setting this up. We're thinking, well, what kind of light do you want? And Mark is just like, hang on. All right, I've got it.
Hold on a moment. All right.
How'd you like that take, Mark? Oh, it was God, it's okay. It was sweet. Oh God, it was okay.
Can I make a bold, and what a time to make a statement like this, bold statement about unions?
Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
By all means, I would love to host the union episode.
Mark does not represent the opinions of this podcast. He speaks only for himself.
You mind if I make some sweeping proclamations? All right, cool.
Only if you generalize on top of them.
No. Okay, so right now, as everyone knows, the writer's strike is going on.
Probably.
Oh, this is going to be bold. I can't wait for where this is going.
I mean, it doesn't look like it, but it could end at any point if the, press and companies are fair. But go on.
Yeah, apparently it's cost more than they would have asked for by now if they would have just given them what they want. And also, it's fair. Like, I'm a big proponent of unions. Unions are great, like, especially when you're negotiating for the betterment of the people that are a part of the union and doing that at a constant pace and regularly, it can work in the favor because they're working towards the people. Now, all that aside, this is not about the writers' union at all. I didn't know that when you, because we did for Iron Lung a union shoot, and I wanted to do that because I wanted it to be, buy the books, pay people well, people being taken care of. But there is a legacy role in film production that requires you to have someone specifically there to do playback. You guys know what playback is?
Literally, when you just play what you just recorded, you do a shoot and then you go over to the monitors and you're like, let's watch that back. And you watch what you just did, right?
Exactly. Everyone out there, if you ever record a video on your phone, you watch it. That's called playback in the industry. If you are on a set that's a union set, you cannot request playback if you do not have a playback person hired and there. And this is I believe, a legacy thing from when film was predominantly literal film,
because they need to maintain, like, protect the film so it doesn't get damaged or degraded or whatever from
exactly 100%.
Okay.
And that's how it went. And so this was a new thing to me, and also it was just like, I got nothing against like them enforcing union rules. I'm not trying to break union rules or anything like that. I'm not shitting on the union. It was new, and it made no sense to me because it was pushing this playback, right? So we heard this rule on one day, and it was Friday or something. And then over the weekend, I think Evan went to Home Depot, or Evan or John went to Best Buy, and they got 2 Elgato external recorders. Because on set, we have big monitors that have SCI cables routed to the camera so we can all see what's going on. So you can watch it live as it's happening. It was just like playing it again was the problem. So we got 2 external recorders, and then I opened OBS on my laptop, and Amy was able to just hit record with a double-wide screen, both camera views there, be able to play back things. And this blew the camera department's minds. And they kept being like, how are you doing this? Everyone was like, how are you doing this? How are you capturing both camera feeds on one? Like, it was just making everyone, and they were thinking, like, because in the camera world, these things cost thousands of dollars. A camera itself costs tens of thousands of dollars if it's a movie camera. Lenses can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's insane. And here we are with basically $300 worth of external recorders going into my laptop and a free piece of software, and it is just blowing the minds of these people that have worked in the industry forever. And it got to the point where once the people got to know me, they realized, like, oh, maybe it was silly to enforce this rule because I treat the crew so well. and I want them to be treated well, that all the camera department and every department came over to Amy, who was running, like, was our playback person, was like, can I see that again? Even the camera came over and was like, can I see that again? Hey, can you pull up that shot? It's just like, yeah, exactly, because it's just interesting. Some of these union rules that are old, and it's just like, I've got nothing against it, but it is just funny when the solution actually is much, much easier. And I wonder how many more things are just like much easier to solve than they would have.
Yeah, no, that does happen, right? It's not. I'm sure it's not exclusive to that industry. There's a lot of in tech stuff. There's a lot of legacy things where it's like you've always done it this way. You need this, this, and this. You need these items, and they all play. But there are like modern versions of it where it's like what you did, where it's like if you have one tool in a laptop, you can accomplish the exact same thing, but the industry standard is whatever.
Yeah,
and like,
absolutely.
and I totally get why that person needs to exist in a world where it's recorded on film, right? You take a shot, and at best, you have maybe a couple reels of film. If the film gets, I don't even know how delicate it is, but touched, scratched, exposed to too much light, like I don't know the details of film, but it's incredibly delicate, and it's gone forever. There's no digital backup. There's no other film strip. Like it's gone. So, as a legacy thing, like, yeah, I get that. Why you would want to have someone protecting your physical creation. And it's funny that they didn't know that Elgatos exist, and as streamers were, we will buy that shit and plug it in and be like, yeah, capture this, capture that, great, sweet, awesome.
God, we don't even realize how good we have it because back in the day, like we used to use what was the software?
I mean, Fraps, Log Me and Hamachi.
Log Me and Hamachi. Yeah, to play Gmod, we literally had to have Hamachi like every time.
This what we're doing right now, which we're doing this on Riverside, and that's
impossible.
It would be, you would need a studio to be able to do this a dozen or so years ago. This tech didn't exist. Even though it could have been done, the programming it could have been done, the internet bandwidth could have been done. It just wasn't put together because there wasn't a need for this. And it's just like the tech just
Well, I remember, Wade, you hosted a show back on Polaris or Maker or whatever it was.
Are You a Robot? I think it was called.
Are You a Robot? And it was this format where Wade was a host, and there were three or four people who would like do like this, where we're all in different places videoing in. The way they did that was with Skype and a really janky like window capture.
They had a studio. Like they actually had a studio, but none of us were physically there. But they used the production process to put us together.
There was a whole team of people janking that together, and it was not as good as this in terms of like quality and latency. It was kind of awful, if I'm honest. It did not work very well.
Fun fact, back then I didn't know who Elon Musk was, and we kept getting questions about him. And I referred to him as Elon Musk for like 2 years. Nobody ever corrected me.
God, I'm gonna do an episode in the future that's just like, Wade, do you know what this is? And I'm just gonna like get a lot of
The answer would probably be no. You could mispronounce something, I would just go along with it. I'd be like, yeah, of course. Yeah, I know who Elon Musk is. The owner of Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla.
Yeah. Anyway, unions, right? You know, that was a lot better than I thought this was going to go when you were like, I got something to talk about with unions. I was like, oh boy, this is happening.
No, but if you guys want to talk about like, I don't know, this isn't union related.
I'm gonna change the topic.
But it reminded me because of like the annoyance with just like how things have been done. That being a requirement, which made no sense with, like you said, being able to get a laptop and just do it anyway. We're in the process of moving, and whenever you move, it turns out you've got to call and have like your electric turned on and your water turned on, all that stuff set up.
Common knowledge, sure.
So I spent a day. It took about 4 hours to make the phone calls, to get all of those things ready to transfer, to set up, whatever. And it was annoying, but I had to make like 8 calls. It was like, okay, whatever. A couple of them took like 20, 30 minutes, but whatever. Got it done. I found out one of the appointments I set up was on a day where we record this. I set it up on a Tuesday. I was like, I'm going to move that so we can keep Tuesday open for recording the podcast. Tuesdays are just my busiest day. I want to not add more stress to it. I'm just going to call and move the appointment. Should be a quick, easy phone call. Let me call and do that. I call. Someone answers. Well, no, you have to go through like the 8 robotic steps of, for this, press 1. For this, press 2. For this, press 3. For all other, press 4. It's like, am I one or another? I don't even, like, one maybe? I don't know. My question doesn't really apply to any of these things. You go through all those options, and finally you get somebody, and it's like, yeah, I had an appointment set up for this date, this time, and I really just want to move it to like the next day or, whenever you guys can reschedule it. Oh, sure, let me take a look. Well, I can't do that from my post. Let me transfer you to someone who can. Great, that's fine. Hi, what's your name? What's the address? What's this? I just went through it, but it's okay. It's a new person. Let me give him everything. Oh, I can't actually help you with that. Let me transfer you to someone that can. But I just got transferred to you from, yeah, but they thought I was this, whereas what you really need is this. Okay. I didn't know that nobody in customer service was qualified to change the date of an appointment. That's kind of strange to me, but fine. Let's go to the next one. And into my head, I'm saying this. I got transferred 7 times to change the date of an appointment. I was sent finally to the right person. No one was in office, so it went to voicemail. The voice message mailbox is full. Can that happen with a company? So I couldn't even leave a voicemail. So I just had to call back and go through the process a second time. It took me an hour and a half to change the day and time of an appointment.
Well, if you had just done it right the first time, paid a little attention to
How
detail.
can 7 different people not be qualified to change the date of an appointment? What do they do if they can't do that? That seems like such a simple thing. It was like, nah, you'll have to talk to the manager's boss if you want to change the date. You want to change the date? My hands are tied. I can set up an appointment. I can sell you stuff, but change the date? That's madness. What are you even asking me? I just needed to bitch about that because I had to listen to those press 1. Here's your hold music. And they were like, all right, let me put your address in here. I'm just going to put you on hold real quick to talk to you. No! And twice, that put me on hold real quick turned into disconnect or transfer to somebody. Like, then it starts ringing again, and it's like, oh, God, it's ringing again. Where am I going? Who will I talk to? And I don't know. I was in the hedge maze of change the date, and it was the worst. And I don't know why it's set up like this. It's so bad. It makes me never want to use these companies. I want to find somebody who, God, I made another call right after this, and it was like a small, family-owned business. And a person answered, and I was like, hey, I was trying to reach this person for this. Oh, yeah, you're trying to reach so-and-so? Let me patch him through. Hey, come here and get to the phone. Okay. Hey, what's up? And I was like, God, I love you guys. Please never change.
Social media addiction when you were younger? Many of us grew up on platforms designed to keep us.
I was like, God, I love you guys. Please never change.
Oh, that reminds me. I mean, that's shit that you went through, but that reminds me of a great customer service experience that I had. I will never buy computers from another person, manufacturer ever again. I want to give a big shout out to Steiger Dynamics. They are by far the best computer company I have ever worked with. You probably have never heard of them. I'd never heard of them. They made my most recent computer, and what sold me on it is I was on their website and I was looking through the customization because they made home theater computers, which was a niche thing, and then they also made like enterprise class workstations with like custom liquid cooling solutions at reasonable prices. These are not reasonable prices for everybody, but for the parts you're getting, it was reasonable. And I go on their website, and the 4090 had just come out, and I asked him, like, hey, do you offer, like, cooling for a 4090? And he goes, like, actually, we just got those in a day ago. Let me go look. And he in the email, he's in it, this is just an email. He goes and looks and comes back and is like, yeah, we just got those updated, I'll get the website updated right now so you can see that option. And then 5 minutes later, it goes like, okay, refresh the page. And I refresh the customization page, and there's a new option for a 4090. And I'm like, what? I've never experienced this before. Someone actually is working there, like, right then and there. I know. And, like, I couldn't fathom it. And then I was like, well, actually, I'm looking to get 2, and I know that's kind of crazy. And they're like, screw it, refresh the page again. And I refreshed it with, like, 2 options. I'm like, oh, my God. Is anyone else here? And I was like, and then months later, just like a couple weeks ago, I emailed the guy. It doesn't have enough storage. Even though I got 32 terabytes of NVMe storage, the movie's too big, so it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit on all that. So I go like, hey, do you have any idea how to do Thunderbolt to USB-C? That was that whole deal. The guy emailed me back and didn't stop helping me. Like, literally came up with 4 different solutions. Like, I think this might work. It probably doesn't work. Thunderbolt to USB-C is a very troublesome thing. Steiger Dynamics. If you want a workstation class computer or a home theater computer, which is a cool thing, Steiger Dynamics.
Before this episode comes out, I need to make sure to reach out because I want to get there before the hordes get there.
Yeah, I'm not sponsored by them. I literally just had the best experience in the world. I've never had a better experience.
That like mom and pop shop type like response where it's not like 80 different robots you talk to before you talk to a person. It's like Dude, I don't even work here. How'd you get transferred to me? Let me call the company. I'll send you there. I don't even know. I work at Wendy's, dude. How are you? What do you want? It's like, who am I talking to? What are you qualified to do?
Listen, grandparents, I know back in the day, everyone answered the phone with a smile and shook your hand through a telegram, and we all yearn for the times when communication took weeks instead of minutes.
Bob, I don't want to hear it. This is ripped right out of Bob's Fridge episode, Your Phone Call Experience. I saw the animated again recently because I loved it so much.
This is the world we live in, okay? This is like, I was on the freeway and some guy was going faster than me over the speed limit. I was going 5 over and he went right past me, slightly faster. How could he speed? I'm jaded. But also, yeah, I mean, I've every phone call I've ever made to any company ever is exactly what you're saying. I know the Bob's Fridge one was a whole saga because that was a particularly rage-filled tirade I went on. But
yeah,
that's how every phone call is. Like you're describing it, I'm like, yeah, that's the first phase. You know what I've learned is if you really want to get to the heart of something, half the time, not all the time, but a good amount of the time, I call and the robot answers and I'm like 00000000000 because if you spam 0, it'll just put you to the general like desk. It'll put you to like the operator, right? And a person will answer the phone, and then I'm just like, hey, I didn't give a shit to go through your stupid menus because I don't have 4 hours for this phone call. Can you connect me to this place or whatever? And I would say most of the time, that person at least is like, no, I'll connect you, and you go directly to the correct phone number. Do it. Abuse the system. Spam zeros. Get through that shit and talk to a human. It's way easier.
It just blows my mind that general customer service was not qualified to change the day of an appointment. And when I finally got a hold of someone that was qualified, they had to talk to 2 supervisors before they could do it. But thankfully, they were like in the room or something because they were just like, I'm gonna put you on a brief hold. But they were even like, I promise you, sir, you won't be transferred this time. Because I was like, I've been put on hold for questions before and I got sent to the abyss. Don't do it. Please don't put me on hold. Like I was crying. I said, please don't put me on hold. Don't do it. Please.
Phone trees are just archaic. Like in the day, in 2023, all customer service should just be like online based, Discord based. I don't care. You chat with someone instantly, and they're like, "Oh, we should get on a call." It's not a phone call. It's just like, like it just pops up right then and there, and like, "Oh, I hear you," because almost every device has a freaking microphone and camera in it. You can just get it's just like these archaic phone companies.
You know what's been a surprisingly good experience for me? There are companies that have Twitter DMs open, like they'll have a support Twitter account, and you could DM a bot through Twitter, but then you'll DM the bot and give it some info, and it'll like, a person will read that and respond to you eventually, but it's in queue, right? So, like, I'll be going about my day, and it'll be like, oh, I got that Twitter person responded, and then I give them a little more info or whatever. And it's slow, but you can just do it whenever it comes up, and it's not like you have to be on the phone on a call waiting for shit. Whenever that person reads your message, they respond, and then actually surprisingly good. Compared to phone calls, I mean, it's still a pain in the ass, because you're, like, sending a dozen messages when it could be a 5-second phone call.
Right.
But compared to phone trees and getting on hold and mailboxes being full and shit, I prefer messaging the bot through Twitter DMs or Discord, like you said. Like, that's fine. Give me that as an option, please.
For everyone listening, being like, man, they're complaining about such old person shit. Look, when you become an adult, you gotta get on the phone a lot, and we're trying to change it. Don't get mad at us for complaining about it. We're trying to change the world.
I would prefer a world where I never called another living being for the rest of my life unless it was because I wanted to, because it's family. Yeah. I would do emails, I would do chatbots, I would do messages, whatever, man. Anything to avoid fucking sitting on a chair just like listening to the whole music, like, I hope they answer this time.
I even miss the music. Now you get the thing where they interrupt you with the same like 3 cycles of messages. They're like, hey, this is Bill. I own this company. Thanks for calling. Your call is very important to us.
Oh, I hate that. Your call is very important.
But we'll be right back in a moment. And then, like, you hear music for 10 seconds, and that same message cycles back. Hey, this is Bill. I'm the CEO of this company. Your call is very important. It's like, dude, you said this literally less than a minute ago. Please, it's been 10 minutes of hearing you say the same sentence. Stop!
I like when they play ads during that part, too.
Like you're on hold, and it's like, oh, you should get our new ultra premium service and upgrade your. I'm like, I am trying to cancel this shit. Don't tell me things.
When you are trying to get the service, they're like, have you heard of fiber internet? Would you like that? We offer. That's why I'm calling. Give it to me.
You should sign up for our service today. All you have to do is call.
This brings me to, it's kind of late to introduce it now. We've kind of been going for a while, but that does bring me to today's topic. Mark, you pretty much segued it perfectly. The topic is things in life we just weren't prepared for just weren't prepared for. It could be any time in life. In my brain, it was like becoming an adult and kind of going off on your own, but really it's just anything. Dealing with phone call customer service seems like it should be so simple, and the further we get into the future, it's like, dude, I should be able to press 3 buttons and be done. Instead, everything's so compartmentalized that you can't even move an appointment time without getting some super specialist that's only in the office 1 day a week for 1 hour at a time. It's wild to me. That's something I wasn't prepared for. Being a homeowner and dealing with all of the stuff where you have to call somebody and they're just like, hey, you want to get scammed, little boy? It's like, no, please just help me. I've got a leak. Oh, I'm going to scam you. You need more mud. Press 1 for more mud. Press 2 for even more mud. Can you replace the mud? Wasn't ready. But that's life.
Things we weren't ready for.
I've got topics I can go into, but you guys, if you have something you come up with.
Are we being boomery?
Oh yeah, no.
Yes,
we're fully doing that. Yes.
This feels old.
I miss when phones were connected to the wall in the kitchen with that dangly cord.
You know, honestly, I do miss that. That was like a very small portion of my childhood that existed. But I miss the curly things.
You wind it around your finger, and your finger would start to turn purple.
Dude, my childhood house, we had like one of those cutout walls, and the phone was like on that little portion of wall that was left. But you could dial the phone, pass it around the wall, and go like sit on the chair, like on the TV while you were on the phone. It was like I could kick back in that chair while on my phone, and you could have the cord to play with and stuff. It was so
How
cool.
old were you when this was a what?
I don't know, like second grade-ish.
I was about to say, yeah, I remember when I was like 6 or 7, not accidentally, my brother told me to, called the cops. And, it's like, emergency. Boing, boing, I don't know.
Did you not know what the cops were? Did he just tell you to call a phone number?
Yeah, it's dial 911, and I'm just like, I don't know. What's your emergency? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, you want cops over at your house right now? Biggest nightmare for a kid was realizing the cops can call back, because when that phone started ringing again after I hung up, and I pick up the phone and I'm like, I'm sending cops to your house. And I'm like, I don't want to die.
I thought that was you for a second. But child Mark answers the phone and is like, I'm sending cops to your house. The guy on the other end is like, oh, you know what? No one's done that before. Shit. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. It's very threatening. I regret that I've done that so many times now.
That was horrible, man. Very, very scary.
That was something we're prepared for. They could call back.
Doing and doing and doing.
My whole life to see a total eclipse.
Now streaming on Hallmark Plus.
Nice scope. Do you mind if I take a closer look?
No, I mean, yes. No, I don't mind. And yes, you can take a closer look.
Oh, you know what I wasn't prepared for? This is older but still youthful ignorance shenanigans. How easy it is to get a motorcycle and just have one of those. I had a motorcycle in college, and I had $700 in cash, and I went on Craigslist, and I was like, what kind of motorcycle can I get for $700? Probably a good one. And I found this guy who lived in Kentucky, just across the river in Kentucky, who was selling this old 1970s. Have you told this story on here? I talked about my motorcycle, but not this specifically. Okay. I did not have to take any classes. You can get a motorcycle learner permit license in Ohio by filing paperwork. I turned in a sheet of paper and was like, I want to ride a motorcycle, and the DMV was like, okay, yeah, just go ahead, I guess. Yeah. Come back can do the test at some point, and we'll give you a real license. But this, the fake license, you can totally ride a motorcycle with this, no worries. I never learned how to do it, and I just bought this motorcycle from this dude with cash. I met him in a parking lot in Kentucky, and I had a helmet and a jacket, and I looked at it, and I was like, and he was like, you're gonna ride this home right now, right? Which requires like going on the highway and stuff. Do you know how to ride a motorcycle? And I was like, I've ridden a bike, so I don't know. And I drive a stick shift car, so I know how like gears work, right? And this dude had just happened to have some free time. He taught me how to ride a motorcycle in that parking lot. He was like, now just go real easy. And it was like a kid with his dad. I was like going up and down the parking lot like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then at some point he was like, okay, stranger, I'm gonna go. You didn't even introduce yourself. I hope you don't die in a fiery accident on the way home on this motorcycle. You've clearly never ridden anything like this before. He just drove away in his truck.
He's like, my conscience is clear. I gave you some instruction. I won't feel bad if you're splattered now. See you later. Good luck.
I lived, so it was fine. And I actually really enjoy motorcycles, but they're a little dangerous. And now that I have like a kid and stuff, I can see why it's maybe a little irresponsibly risky to like have a motorcycle instead of just a car, where if I get in an accident, I don't die or become maimed and terribly injured and road rash all over my body just from a simple accident. But yeah, like I love that motorcycle. I had a good time, but I was not prepared for how easy it was to buy one. And then I'm just standing in a parking lot like, huh, I guess let's go home. Okay, me, you're in charge. It was really scary.
I had a family member who just got licensed to drive like semi-truck, and it was like a 4-week class, which is about as long as you get a general license. But for me, it was like, if you're gonna drive one of those giant semis around, you're gonna be in school for like years. There's probably like semi-college you have to go to. You have to like go get your semi-master's degree. Like, those things are so big and dangerous, and there's so much stuff you have to like learn to pack and undo the trailer and all this. That's gonna take years to get that. And he was just like, I'm done. What? I wasn't done thinking about how long it must take to get your license. Like, no, I got it. That quick. And that blew my mind.
I don't know, those have never intimidated me.
I got hit by one, so I guess my brain's a little different. Trailer backing up, even in a video game, which I'm good at. I'm like, oh, I couldn't even do the math and it should be a class. There was a class. It was just very short.
It's probably very intensive, but I mean, it's you just a lot of it is learning about how the truck works and like check the brakes, check the fluids, whatever. I'm sure it's like a checklist. It's not that the driving skill. Yeah, I might hope to develop that a little bit more, but it's not like that. It's like a big car. You know how cars are, Wade. I know you don't have a car, but you're familiar with cars.
Anyway, you both get 3 points for whatever that was.
No, thank you. That was sincere. Too bad I hadn't turned it off yet. What were your topics, Wade?
I've got several. One thing I wasn't prepared for, that's kind of a sillier one, is like whenever a show you really like either ends or is canceled. I remember living on your phone in the dark, but I remember when I was really upset when Angry Beavers did the last break. Nickelodeon show. And I loved Angry Beavers.
Yeah.
Angry Beaver. Yeah, I loved Angry Beavers, man. And when that went away, I was just like, well, it's gotta come back. Mom, make it come back.
I said that about
Fix
reboot
it. I
and
want more Angry
bonkers.
Beavers. And I just wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared for that to happen. I know people that only got the one season of Firefly were pretty devastated by that. Apparently a lot of Netflix shows, like, they get like 2 to 5 seasons and don't keep going. And a lot of people are like, man, I want that show back. I don't know, just that's something I wasn't ready for whenever it happened. It's like, this has existed my whole life. I'm like 7. I've always loved this show from the 2 years it's been on. I can't remember life before it. And then it ended. I was just like, but it's gone. And I remember it. Where is it? I want it back. And I've always had a pit in my stomach for Angry Beavers.
How a person feel fulfilled in themselves while they are navigating a relationship. I think it's about.
And I've always had a pit in my stomach for Angry Beavers.
You know what I realized, something that ties back into what we were talking about before?
before, but also was just like, was news to me. The writer's strike was going on, and there was another writer's strike back in 2008. And there was a show that I watched in that year called Heroes. Yeah. Heroes, that I really liked. I didn't learn until this writer's strike that the reason Heroes was so good in the first season and so ass in the second is because of the writer's strike. It's because they tried to just push the show through and just be like, we'll figure it out as we go. And I don't know who they hired to write it, if it was just like the director or something like that. I have no idea.
Yeah, well, it was a complex show, right? The thing, it was Chat GPT Alpha. I don't know if that was out there, but that was the thing, right? Heroes, they had a ton of like characters, right? There were a ton of intertwining stories and new characters that were sort of introduced in the second season, and then when the writer's strike happened, they were just like, shoot some stuff, film a scene, oh my god. And none of the characters got developed, and all the stories just like fell flat and stuck.
Yeah, exactly. And it was bad. It was very bad, and it was because of the writer's strike. And I'm like, if you guys had just waited like a couple months, like just a few, it would have been fine. It would have been totally fine.
Why did you have to fight for your employment rights now? Wait until the season break.
No, not the strike. Not the strike.
Oh, you mean delay filming the show? Oh, okay, I'm with you.
These uppity writers and selfish writers, why couldn't you just wait for these shows to finish? Can't you build your strike around my show?
No, I'm with you. That makes more sense. Postpone. I mean, I can't imagine what people think though, right? Because that is, I've been hearing stories about that. Heroes was a big one, but there were other movies and shows where they, like what, they had like a, what was it? One of the Transformers movies started filming during that 2008 strike, and apparently, like Michael Bay or someone just showed up with like one piece of paper that had like an outline of the movie on it, and they were like, yeah, we can start filming stuff. Like, that has to be just like a rumor, right? That can't be real. The writers are not the only ones that make the show happen or the movie happen, but I can't imagine what people think when they're just like, oh, we'll just start filming it. It'll come together. Just get some shots, do some setups. It's like, no one is steering this bus. You're just hitting the gas on a bus and letting it go over a cliff or like wherever.
No, it is exactly like that. It is so much like, yes. Why do you think it would be otherwise? Why? It should be otherwise. That's why. According to who? This is like styrofoam to my innards. No, it's not planned like you think it is. It's not like, ooh, this is a great idea, let's do it now. It's like, oh, we have a gap in our schedule that needs to be filmed. Transformers? That did good before. Yes, go. You're gonna get this guy, and you guys going, whose schedule's open? Who's available? You. And that's how it happens.
It's so much money to just toss shit together like that. It's millions and millions of dollars to be like, we better make this happen. Just start filming. I don't care if there's no script. You talk third. All right, it's a scene. Let's go. You're like, really?
Think about how much money would be lost if they didn't go for that time slot and actually thought about what they were doing. Not at all.
I choose not to believe you. The fact that I don't believe you, Mark, and I only deal in facts.
Okay, all right.
Well, it's the fact that I don't want to believe you. You got me. Con 4K with the facts on my end. Anyway, that's wild. It's so goofy. Oh my gosh. TV shows was one. There's the obvious ones, right? Like taxes, no one knows. There's no planning for that. Money in general is very confusing sometimes. Like trying to plan things out. Like when I was working at UDF doing ice cream years ago, it was like trying to budget out like what I was making to help pay bills, be prepared for everything. Like you learn how to balance a checkbook. At least we used to. I don't know if they do it anymore. But I remember learning how to balance a checkbook in like 9th grade. And other than that, there was no help whatsoever with like finances and stuff. And it was like, I got a paycheck. Well, great. How I got to pay a bill somehow. How do I? Like, there's nothing. There's no help for that. I had no idea what I was doing. And I remember I had like a car payment and student loans and stuff. I was just like,
am I supposed to know if I do this? What do I do? I'll tell you what I wasn't prepared for in a similar vein is just college in general. Talking like, oh, the workload, oh, you gotta like be responsible.
I had to learn everything.
I went into college not even knowing what college really was. Yeah, it's serious.
I would agree. No, I agree with you. I feel that too.
Yeah, it's just like I didn't understand. I barely understood what high school was. I barely understood why school occurred. It was just something that you did. You showed up, and that happened. And you go to class, and that on a conceptual level was all it was. College, as a nebulous idea, was just like it's high school plus.
Yeah.
But I didn't even understand what high school was, let alone going to college, suddenly being thrown into this cocktail of not only responsibility and classes, but then the student loan debts and how easy it is for getting a credit card and that whole experience there. But just like, I didn't understand why I was there. I did not know why I needed to. All I needed to college.
That's how you get lots of money to have a family and a
And
picket
that's
fence.
what they said.
Go to college.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
People just went like, "Of course you did," and no one explained it on the way. It was so such a given.
Didn't you pick your job in junior high like the rest of us? That's how it was. Like literally, there was one day in junior high where we went to like our computer room because we had a computer room in high school or junior high school, if you guys remember. And they like had us fill out this little survey, and this survey popped up with like a little wheel or a pie chart rather than a pie chart. It was just like, oh, I matched with 60% farmer, 30% lawyer, 10% like it told me I matched with different careers. And I was just like, so I pick one of these and that's my job. I guess I'll go lawyer. Those make good money. That is literally why I was doing law, because I took something in 8th grade that told me I might be okay at it.
I love that you're 30% farmer. I just
60%.
60% farmer. Oh,
He's a man.
He should have gone farmer. He's so farmer.
I like that all those tests only had the cliched ones too. They're like, I'm 12% firefighter. I'm 16% police officer. Oh man, thank God I didn't match with factory floor worker.
And they didn't have health insurance, actuary. They didn't have stuff like that. It was very specifically like the broad topics. They were like, you could go into law, medicine, farming, or cooking, or shit like that. It was like, I guess those are the things I matched with. So I literally went through college thinking like, okay, well that was one of the things I did. I liked watching Law and Order. I liked doing my mock trial stuff and all that. I was like, okay, I guess I'll go do that. And then I finished college, and so after I finished college, it was really like that was the first time I was even adult enough in my brain to have the thought of like, what do I want to do now that I have this degree I owe thousands and thousands of dollars for?
I did not care very much about being responsible with planning.
We were kids.
For like high school and college, like I got to college and I was like, this is fun. This is like a party. But I have a striking memory of after I graduated, looking at like I still was working at Jimmy John's at the time, and I was like, oh, I should get like a job, like a career job, because I didn't really have a plan for that. And I started looking into stuff and applying for jobs, just like desk jobs. And I remember I took several interviews. I had a lot of interviews and went and did like, some of them were like scams and some of them were like, come sell insurance for us. It's great. Some scam type job things. And every time I'd get there and I'd be in the middle of the process, just like, why would I want to do this? What's my motivation? It was such a weird realization that I'd gotten through college and not even ever thought about like, why did I do all that?
People would ask you like, well, what do you want to do? And it's like you have to like, make up an answer. Like they would push you until you answered. It was like, here's my answer, I guess. And it was just like I lived on that until like for some reason something finally like triggered internally. It was just like, well, what do I want to do? It was like, well, now it's too late. I've gone through all of this. I took my LSAT. I'm so invested. Like I can't change now. And that's why I just kept working at like this ice cream place for a while. I was not motivated to apply to law schools because I knew deep down I didn't want it. But I felt like I was stuck and compelled to do it. And then we fell into doing this, Minecraft, and then
like, in terms of not being prepared for how college works, law school was hilarious. I went to law school and like I knew nothing about it. I didn't know how the classes work. There's a specific method they use in law school. It's called
democratic method. It's much more discussion oriented than a lot of like higher level education stuff where it's just a lecture. You sit there, you listen, you take notes. In law school, everyone is expected to participate in conversation. So you're expected to have read whatever material usually read, a handful of cases, and have some analysis and something ready to add to the conversation. And I was completely unfamiliar with that. And I showed up on the first day of law school. They were just like, orientation starts at 9 a.m. Wear a suit and a tie, wear your nice suit, come to this room for first year orientation. And I got there and I was like, okay, cool, we're lawyers. Everyone's in suits and stuff, and it's like, cool, yeah, all right. And immediately they were like, all right, so here's all your homework. Have these cases and stuff read and brief them, and be ready to have discussion. Tomorrow classes start. Read this. You should have already read this, but here's your homework. And I was like, what's a brief? What's a hey? How do I analyze a case? What? They just started saying shit. You're supposed to experience things like a holding of the case, which is the actual decision of the judge. The issue of the case, which is where you distill down the core legal thing that's in dispute in the case. All this stuff, and so we sat through that, and I was kind of like, I'll figure out how to do that. That's a later issue. And then the next part of orientation, they took us to a church where they were going to have some speeches. But before the speeches started, we were all sitting, a bunch of 1Ls in suits, sitting in this church. A woman in full costume comes out of the side of like the stage front area of the church and just starts singing. It's a song from the Disney movie Hunchback of Notre Dame called God Help the Outcast. God Help the Outcast. This woman just comes in, she's holding a rose, she's in like a costume, and she just starts going, God help the outcast. And I think I'm having a fever dream or some shit. And I'm sitting here in my suit and tie, just like,
I forgot that church was a mandatory requirement of law school.
Well, I was a pretty conservative private law school that I went to. I did, but yeah, no, like she just comes and she's singing it, and I'm sitting there like, oh my god, I've lost my fucking mind. What is happening? And did I apply to a joke law school? No. Like, that was the weirdest shit. That was orientation. She sings the whole song. Nobody introduced her. She just did it, and she finished. And she like walked through the aisles of the pews and through the audience, and we're just like,
collect money.
Oh, hey, okay, yeah, no, cool. She's singing in the audience. This is cool. They do it in musical theater. This must be pretty neat, I guess. And then, like, that finished, the dean gave a speech, and he was like, all right, go home and start reading, and never stop reading for the rest of your life.
They never acknowledged it?
That's it. Yeah, no, there was no explanation. On my way out, I grabbed a program, because I didn't get one on the way in, and I looked, and it was like, meet and greet, it's take your seats, musical performance, speech from the dean, and I was like, oh, shit. Wow, that was so.
I wish it was unscripted. There was just a lady who knew that you guys would be there, and she was just like, I'm gonna get dressed up and perform for them.
It still is one of the most unbelievable moments, because for a long time, it was like a 5-minute long song, right? So I'm just sitting here like, no one else is getting up or saying anything, so I'm not going to be that guy who's like, oh, what are you doing? I'll just listen and clap along, and do we participate, or what do I sing? Am I in the chorus for this, or what? Is this like street performance art? I don't know, man. But yeah, nobody explains shit in law school, and they're just like, read these cases, here's a song, this lady's going to sing at you and be real sad. All right, be a lawyer. Nobody fucking prepared me for that, man. It was tough.
Here's a song.
Every day you get done with classes and they're like, wait, the song's starting. Everyone gather in the atrium for the song of the day. Big part of law school.
Have I ever talked on the fucking pod, you know about this, but the time I just got roped into a pyramid scheme?
Oh yeah, I remember that. I don't know if you've talked about that.
I went to a couple meetings for pyramid schemes.
Go ahead. Yeah, that was the thing. It's just like, I think this was freshman year of college. This was in around the same era as when we got signed up for that credit card real easily at the pizza party.
Yeah.
And I think some friends of mine had talked to me about, like, oh, they wanted to get started in this business opportunity. And right now, we all know that that's code word for pyramid scheme. But at the time, had no idea. I'm like, what is this? That sounds pretty cool. You starting your own business? And they go like, yeah, I'm starting my own business. I'm like, good for you, man. Good for you. And he's like, you want to be a part of it? I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that. And then they give the spiel. And at this point, I didn't know what the spiel was. And so I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. So you have this company that you buy products from, and then you sell those products, and then you can get rank up for every referral that you have. It sounds great. I have friends that I can refer into it. Oh, this is easy. You only need to sell how much per month? Oh, you can buy your own. It's easy. And money comes from That's whenever I told you about it. And it was just like, I don't even think you fully were aware. I think you had a clue that it was like a pyramid scheme. You talked to me about it, and I was like, that sounds weird, but also, I want to make money. Like, I was kind of into it. I was like, yeah, no, I could see how you would make money doing this. That's interesting. So the turning point for me was like, yeah, this sounds great, because they invited me out to this seminar, right?
I think I went with you to that. It was like a big thing at like a. I remember you and I going to like a big. It was like a ballroom kind of thing.
You were there? Awesome.
I went to one of those. I went to that. Yeah.
Then you can corroborate this, because this is how insane it was. Because it was like what you were talking about reminded me of this. It's a room of maybe 1,000 people. Wait, think like our when we did a panel at an event.
I went to a couple of these seminars. I don't know if I was at the
You were there too?
I wasn't with you guys, but I also had friends who were like, dude, there's a way we can make lots of money. All we need is like an $80 investment, and then we can make hundreds back. Go ahead.
Exactly. It might have been something else. There were a lot of scams floating by. But it was like a room. Everyone was in great suits. Like my buddy was there, and he was in this fantastic suit with like a tie chain and everything. And this guy comes up like, woo! And everyone's like, yeah, people lost their minds. Yeah.
Bitcoin. It was like being in the audience for like a daytime television show whenever you go to these seminars.
Yeah, and he was talking about, you want to make money? Everyone's like, yeah! I was like, I've worked so hard to bring you guys here, and let me tell you, it was an investment,
Hi.
but I'm here now at
Hey.
Ruby level, or whatever the shit was. He was saying about these different levels. And it's like, I've recruited 1,000 people, therefore I'm making 6 figures.
When I hit Ruby level last year, the company sent me this Rolex, which is worth $25,000.
Yeah.
If you want to get your own Rolex, what do you got to do? Get to Ruby level! It's like a fucking cult, man. It's crazy.
It's like a cult. It's so much like a cult. So like a cult. But I could see how people would be roped into that, because it was infectious. You wanted to be like, yeah, I want to be a like, and so I was not prepared for what a pyramid scheme was. And he had his money. He was like, this here's $10,000. He was expanding it. You were like,
This is less than I make in 1 month. This is just one of my checks. Well, that sort of shit.
And so afterwards, like, everyone take a picture of me and my money. And I remember this very distinctly is I didn't get a picture, but I remember him panicking because he let people hold his money, and there was less money than there should have been by the time he got back. So somewhere in there in the chain of picture taking, someone just started taking money from him.
How are you going to do that with not prop money? Who's going to use real cash for a bit like that? Holy crap.
They couldn't afford to waste money on the prop money.
Yeah, so this was like, back then, I was not prepared for the credit cards, the scams, the schemes, the pyramid schemes. What is the one that goes around today that people know now, but not people in it?
I don't know. There's a few. I mean, there's Herbalife is like a kind of a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, they call it multi-level marketing.
Yeah, MLMs, right?
Dude, they focus so little. I don't know about the one you went to. They focus so little on the product. It was like some kind of like, people are going through a hard time. This book will help them and help you feel better about yourself, and you can spread the message and make money while you do it. And then it was like, that was all we knew about the product. After that, it was how we could make money. It was 3 minutes on talking about the product and like an hour about how we could make money doing it, how many referrals you need to get, like you said, get to certain levels and stuff, how much money they make. Like, it was all focused on how much money you could make and so little on what the product itself was. They very much knew that you were there to make money, not for the product. Someone else makes the product. You just make the money.
They would always have like the hype guy, like Marvel stuff, but they always have someone who followed them who would kind of explain how you make money. And it was always, listening to them was always like trying to figure out how the Fortnite Battle Pass works, right? It's one of those things where it's like, oh, well, if you sell $500 a month, you get 6 quality
points. You spend your quality points to upgrade your level, but you don't want to upgrade level too fast because you can spend your quality points to get discounts, so you can buy even more product. You spend 3 quality points, you get a 20% discount, and then you spend 1,000 a month. That gets you 12 quality points a month, but you're only spending 3 of those quality, but then you have 9 quality points left on the month. You use that to skate yourself to the platinum level, and your first month, all you need is like, whoa, sounds like you're explaining a way that I could make money by doing nothing and by spending money on products. Buying things from you somehow makes me money, is what it sounds like you're explaining.
Yeah, you gotta move the product.
And it's all, like, it always felt like that to me, because it's like, well, if you just recruit 3 friends, they recruit 3 more friends, and they recruit 3 friends, and you have 9,000 people working for you, then you get commissions from those 9,000 people who are all underneath you, and that'll get you all the way up to the gold, platinum level.
You know, the only reason I never actually got roped in was because I didn't have enough money to make the initial investment. There were times where I was like, dude, if I had $80, I would do this. I've got like $40 to my name. They were like, save up. Give me a call when you've got the money, and we can get you in, and it'll be perfect. By the time I got home and thought about it, I was like, why would I buy this? Shouldn't I just be selling it to other people? Why do I have to buy it first?
Wouldn't I just have a garage full of that product, and then they would just have the money, and I would have got that product?
I won't name names, but some of my friends had trunks full of these like knockoff energy drinks and like things like all I do is I buy this stuff myself. And I drink energy drinks anyway. That was like the pitch. It's like you're drinking it anyway. Buy it for yourself and make money.
Make money on that.
There's so many different kinds of products that they do this with.
That's how the stock market works. The stock market works just by go like, well, you buy me and I buy mine and you buy mine and we trade that and it's no values created, but everyone's making money.
Remember whenever people like have started catching on and companies are be like, it's not a pyramid scheme because the pyramid's like upside down. They're like, you start up here and you work your way down to the point. It's like, so like a pyramid, but upside. No, not a pyramid. Pyramids go up. This one, you work your way down. It's like they found different ways to try to design it.
We prefer to call it an invertimid scheme.
Scheme is such a strong word. It's more like a pyramid special.
It's a plan. It's tetraparabohedral. There's another word for 4-dimensional.
I'm not gonna get you there. Sorry, that's not a thing I know.
Tetrahedral.
That's something with 3.
Yes. There's a tetrahedral plan.
I want to qualify. I'm not commenting at all on the products themselves because I don't know the quality of any of these companies' products. I assume a lot of them are schemish to the point where they're bad, but some of them might be decent products that actually work. But the layout of the company, the way it's presented, historically, whenever I was in high school, college, was always very like shady, scummy, very charismatic person, and then usually they'd be like, we didn't have a money person. The one I remember, there wasn't like a money guy that came out to talk about points, but there was like, and here's the guy that started it all. It was like the CEO would step down, and he was the one swagged out with like very expensive stuff with the Rolex. And he was talking about, I started this in my garage like 2 years ago, and look at me now. I have a vacation home down in the Bahamas. I've got a yacht over here, and you can be me in 2 years too with enough effort. Like, that was the guy that was the follow-up, was like the rich, look-at-me guy. It was charismatic, I'm working my way up guy, and then CEO would step in and be like, fucking London! I'm a shit and you'll get rich somehow.
There needs to be like high school courses on that sort of stuff, where it needs to be a class where the theme is, if it sounds too good to be true, go with that gut feeling. Yeah. Because that's always the case. If there's a credit card where it's like no interest and basically free money, nope, that's gonna screw you over somehow. It's a pyramid scheme, or it's a main multi-level marketing, whatever it is, and they're like, you'll make money just by buying product and having it. That's not how it works. You trust your gut on that.
I would have invested too, man. I'm telling you, if I had the money, I would have invested because they were so persuasive.
I was in the same boat as you, Wade. When Mark told me, I remember, I was like,
I was an honor roll smart kid, but like, when you don't know something, you don't know something. And so when someone's presenting you an opportunity to make money what sounds like an easy way, and you've got none, it's so tempting to be like, I got nothing to lose except for this $80 investment, I guess. Like, it literally does.
It's not though, so don't do that.
I wonder if anyone listening to this right now and being like, but not my business, said I.
Oh, no.
My garage full of stuff is great. Yeah, and I sell some. Oh, I haven't sold.
That's what that does. I could have been used that.
Just be careful.
Not pay attention.
Appropriately/or.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just be careful out there, everybody. I've got a whole list, but like looking at the time, maybe we'll do a follow-up sometime. But there's a lot to this. I wish we had done. But alas, we are where we are. Well, we're older now, so now we know. My house was section on getting older, man. I was like the big reveal. Getting older. No one compared it. But, you know,
I mean, I guess same difference.
All right, looking at the points, I quit calculating after about the 20-minute mark. That was a while ago. Let me assign some points real quick.
Remember how good and insightful all my stories were?
You know, I'm tempted to put this down to a coin flip.
That doesn't sound very interesting.
Mark, how do you feel about a coin flip?
I feel indifferent about a coin flip. In fact, I am eager for a coin flip.
Man, oh man, the score is real close.
But is it not tied? If it's not tied, then there is a winner and a loser, so we don't need to do a coin flip.
Okay, back when I was assigning points, and around however long ago it was 7 points Mark, 6 points Bob, and I don't know how many points to give since then, so I'm just going to give an even amount. That would put Mark 1 point ahead at the end.
That would. Why do you say that would? It doesn't? Does it or
Well,
not?
it does, but that was, the argument about the coin flip.
Wade, you know what else I have to say about that is you did an excellent job hosting this show. It was a very interesting topic.
Thank you. Let me give you a point for that.
We had a wide-ranging discussion, and I feel like it was really like an old-school classic episode of Distractable, and I commend you for such an excellent job.
Thank you. Mark, would you like to kiss my ass for a point?
You have the most beautiful eyes.
I know you're playing me, but I'm going to let you.
This is stunning. Like the stars on a clear, moonless night. The wave of your beard brings your chin. The jawline that's created.
Okay, I've got to stop this, boys. God, we got to move on from me. Enough about me.
You know, there's a reason why I only had Bubba reprised in space and not Bubba.
Bob had to leave, but I'll take it.
You were so royal and stuff.
I can see why you wear red shirts all the time. It does wonders for your complexion, which is good to begin with, but sometimes it brings out those lowlights, which is such a hard thing to accomplish. It's such a savvy move that you have this perfect shade of red, and it just, you get like rosy cheeks, but the perfect amount, not too much. Just like,
I'm trying to say this felt nice, and now I just start to feel dirty and objectified after a minute or two, I think. But, thank you. Well, after all of the ass kissing that's happened, I still have Mark up by 1 point.
I think we should do a coin flip, guys. I've always been a big fan of coin flips.
I'm okay.
Yeah, no, he's okay, so he's okay if we do it. We should do a coin flip. I think he said he's in. That's what he means.
We don't need a coin flip.
I don't know what you're afraid of, Mark. I don't like coin flips.
I believe in Wade's ability to make smart and passionate decisions.
I believe Wade had a passionate idea to do the what?
No, I want a coin flip.
Oh, you do want a coin flip?
Yeah, let's do a coin flip.
All right,
I unwin.
So, do I flip this or do I do it on the website? Which one do you want, Bob?
Let's cap it, baby. Which one is heads? That's tails. That's heads.
Let's do Mark's like lifty here, I think.
I know, yeah. See, it's the only way.
The fairness triangle.
Yeah. All right. So here is tails.
Black circle. Got it. I trust you inherently. I don't even need you to show this to me. I believe you. I know that you know what you're doing.
This seems fair.
Mark, you technically have the most points, so I'll allow you to call it.
Heads.
I haven't flipped it yet.
It'll still be heads when it's
recalling heads. Committing.
Jesus Christ.
It was about to It was about to maybe hit a cable. So I had to catch it. Okay. Oh fuck. Okay. You want to call it, Mark? I'm gonna go get it.
Heads.
Jesus.
I should have just taken it.
You should have, because it's tails.
The triangle of fairness says it is
That
tails.
looks like heads to me. I don't know what you're talking about. That's a head.
No, it wasn't. My knees really hurt. This floor is very hard.
All right, but what was it on the first 3 times you flipped it? You just allowed that to be tails. I call bullshit on this because you know what? We'll do 2 out of 3. Call again. Thanks. Why don't you know how to flip things? Doing this. It's tails. That's not the biggie. You can't just let it fall on your lap. You don't even try. I don't have 11 desk space.
We'll edit this all out. Cut the episode right where Wade said, and Mark has 1 more point than Bob, and then none of this ever had to happen.
No, it's tails of third.
One of the things students love about culinary school online with the Scopier is the toolkit. Our students can receive
None of this ever had to happen.
Wow, it's tails of third. Well, that doesn't make any sense then. Is this like a weighted? Is this weighted?
Oh my God.
This is the same as yours. No, it's not. Mine's at least even. Wait, show it to me again. Doesn't yours have a bulbous tip on one side? Hold it up horizontal.
What is happening?
It's got a bulbous tip on one side.
It is much heavier on the head side. The head side.
Very fair. No. I call bullshit on that. That's not fair at all. You can't have a weighted lens cap. At least this one was even. Mine's evenly bulbous. It's as much in on one side as it is out on the other.
That's not how that works at all.
God, I abstain from losing. I abstain from losing.
What happens if I, out of respect and honoring the position that you're in, because I can relate, what if I abstain from winning? Where does that leave us?
Here, you know what? Hold on. I've got a solution.
Oh, not the wheel.
Oh, I've got a solution. The wheel. It's not the wheel. It's the flippy.
What in the...
Alright, Mark, what color you want? Give me green. Alright, I'm gonna click, and whenever I say 3, 2, 1 and click, you call it after I say that, okay?
There's always a latency. I'm just gonna say heads.
No, tails. No, head. Frick. 3, 2, 1. Heads. Yes.
I think we need to make an agreement that there's got to be at least a cooldown period on coin flips to end episodes for a little bit here. I think this is...
I mean, I was just gonna call more flip.
No, well, you know what? I lived to regret that, didn't I? I've already regretting it. I didn't even have to live that long. So
best 5 out of 7? No, I win. Period. Fair win. You had more points. The Bob asked for a coin flip. You agreed, and the coin said I was right to begin with. So, Bob, I'm sorry. I think it's a little bit. You have a loser speech.
It feels good to know that your lens cap is on my side. I'm going to keep that in my back pocket. Sometime in the future, I'm sure we'll circle back to the lens cap situation. I just want to apologize to the viewers. I should not have encouraged the coin flip to happen. That's entirely my fault. Come at me in the subreddit. I deserve it. I will never, ever advocate for a coin flip or a wheel spin ever again. And that is my solemn vow.
What about paper, rock, scissors?
That's a whole different... That's gentleman.
Okay, cool. Mark, winner's speech.
I think somehow in this episode I broke my nose again. I don't know.
What?
See, look, it's starting to get red right here, and there's a little, it's sore. It's so fragile, like if I crack it, like if I rub my nose really hard or scratch my nose or like rub my eye and like poke it, see, like it's, I don't know what.
Not good, man.
Dude, I don't know. I broke it once at the beginning of filming. I swear, like, it just, like, gets sore.
You think it was your laugh? Your Pluto laugh? Did that break your nose?
No, it was in this episode. Listen to my words. As winner, I declare that in the future all words will be listened to. Period.
That seems like a dangerous declaration.
As winner.
Fair, I guess.
And coin flips are banned forever.
I am on board with that.
As long as you're host, I agree.
All future episodes will be judged purely on skill. So long as you, brave watchers and listeners, vote for me to be the winner in the future, I will always make sure everything is fair.
I like the wheel.
I will make sure all future elections are fair.
We will do the hard things and the other things, and we will make sure it's fair.
Thank you all for joining in. Thanks for a fair result from our contestants. I appreciate the fairness that is always so fair here at Distractable. If you haven't already, go follow Markiplier.
Go follow Bob, Meister. I'm Wade, Minion777 or Lord Minion777, depending. We might do another reprise of this. I enjoyed talking about it. I think we have a lot more we could talk about. So hopefully you all enjoyed it. Let us know in the subreddits. Plural now? We have merch? Maybe, probably, hopefully.
We should just stop promoting that. That's never gonna.
DistractablePodcast.com. It'll restock one day, maybe? Maybe, I don't know. Listen, we just gotta get through all the phone calls. Once we get through the 8 customer service calls, someone will answer and they'll be like, yeah, we'll restock it. Right?
It always works with other companies, so why wouldn't it work?
Somebody, there will be merch, maybe. I don't know, you can look. But until then, thank you all for listening, watching on Spotify, or probably watching, because you can see all of our fun antics, like Lynn's and Bob dancing, Mark breaking his nose. You can see it all live here. Anyway, until Mark hosts next time, podcast.
It's low effort.
This episode of Distractable is presented by Vitamin Water. Some drinks are fun, some are functional, but Vitamin Water said, why not both? There is nothing more refreshing than like a nice Vitamin Water, ice cold sip in the heat.
I only drink zero sugar drinks, so of course I'm a fan of the zero sugar, rehydrate, pineapple, passion fruit.
I'm a big pineapple guy. Pineapple good. Born in New York City, built for people who work hard and play hard. Grab a Vitamin Water today. Copyright 2025 Glasso. Vitamin Water is a registered trademark of Glasso.
Good evening, gentle listeners or watchers, and welcome to Distractable. This episode, Byzantine Bob specifically shops exclusive. Ogres Osman gives auto advice and desecrates Bill the Bard. Boss Blake Wade has wilted wheels and is oblivious to virgins and motherfuckers. Maleficial Mark looms up for a fragile fiber fixation, but is no bacchanalian nor bottom man. From sketchy scoring to concluding Christmas celebrations. Yes, it's time for Don't Google Pin Buttock. Now sit back and prepare to be distracted and enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome back to Distractable, the last podcast remaining on Earth. I don't know why, it just struck me. You guys both were like zoned out looking at something, and I was like, now's the time. Welcome back to Distractable. My name is Bob. I'm going to be your host because I won the last one and the one before that, some might say. Some might say I've won a bunch that I deserve to win, and then somehow they were taken away from me. Unjustly. Can the host even do that? I don't care. I don't know what's happening at this point in the podcast.
We have an entire system in place to make sure that doesn't happen.
I challenge that I'm hosting this one. All heads, I host 2 in a row. All tails, I never host again. Let's flip. We've never seen this show. I'm hosting because it's a competition. I won the last one, so I host this one. My 2 co-hosts who are here are competing to win this one. Whoever wins will host the next one. As host, I give out points. I have a book that every time I flip through it, I realize is filled with increasingly concerning, crazy bullshit. But eventually, this will be full of episodes of this show that we make. I don't know why this one is striking me so much, but there's a score sheet in my book. Usually I write like a title, and there's a score sheet in my book that just says Mark Wade and has a series of X's in a pattern that I don't understand what it means. Apparently that's how I kept score one time. I don't know.
That's kind of cool though. My first one on my old score sheet versus the one I just did on the new score sheet are relatively similar.
Both look very chicken scratchy.
Looks like my map in space.
I love the lines and the circles that are just like,
I ran out of space. I was like, well, I better write this out. I've even gotten gaps. I don't know if you can see like the gap up here. Where there's like a really long diagonal like point because I had to split. I was like, two. Over here. Why are you guys have crazy? It's a table of name.
Most of mine look like this. Most of mine are very like, but some of them are just like, well, what the fuck happened in that episode? I don't know. And some of them, look how many fucking points I gave you guys in this one. What episode is that? That one's called Bob's Secret Words. You guys got so many points. Anyway, yeah, that's what we do here. This is the show, and Gary said it best when he said, or was it the other thing about what's made up as
Cincinnati rocks, right?
I do have a show prepared as is constitutionally required, but before we get into that bullshit, how are you guys doing? That's Teddy's Weekends.
I mean, I blew my story load last episode.
You had so many good stories in the last episode.
No. If I remember right, Mark said, "Ooh, no, I'll save that one for the next one."
Yeah, and then you brought up crows, and I was like,
yeah, and then he said, "Oh, I was saving this for the next one," and then he told us about the crows.
Okay, for those watching it or listening, I ended the last episode like 20 minutes before we started this recording, and the 5 minutes ago was like, and I literally cleared that winner like 10 minutes.
We took a break. I went and took a poop. I came back and wait. That's why they hurt so much.
I have some tech complaints, but those are all nervous.
I love when Mark moans about technology, and so does everyone on the subreddit universally.
So I do have okay. I had another fiber line pulled to my rent farm, right? You know,
Sure.
How basic do I need to break this down?
Line of fiber.
Damn,
Are you asking me or Wade? Because
if anyone has an objective, because
it's a line the internet comes in on and goes out on.
For a lot of people, actually not as many as there should be. Most people have cable, which is still complicated.
Well, everyone's internet touches fiber optic at some point. It just usually there's a junction at some point where it switches from your hard line to your fiber optic. But yeah, it's the internet. It's the fast kind.
So you can get your own fiber going between yourself. You could set up your whole house networking with fiber if you really wanted to. It would be very fast, efficient. Networking is they're very fragile,
And you hated having money in your bank account.
Yeah, and if any rat even touches a wire, just crack it in half and they'll nibble on it and shit. All the internet's gone.
Oh, an actual rat. I thought you meant like a really shitty person.
Any of you fucking rats. Fiber. I had it too because I wanted a redundancy because there's a single connection going to my rent farm right now, and if that breaks, then no one can use it, or I have to go in there. There's no computer set up in there. It's all remote access, right? So if that breaks, even I can't use it because my computers are I access it remotely. So I had another fiber line, and this one I was like, I want 100 gigabit lines. 100 gigabit.
That was cheap to install.
Well, it's actually not that much more. Laying the conduit and pulling it through.
I guess that's fair.
The cable may cost like twice as much per conduit or something like that, but still most of the work is in the labor of getting it from A to B. So they did it. I had them dig it really nice, and then it gets all set and done, and I go to the server closet and I look at the cable, and I'm like, pick up the other cable that they put in, this 10 gigabit one, and I hold them up next to each other, and I'm like, fuck.
So tasty, it could give Medusa a good hair day. Holy divine taste from the Greek gods.
Morning routine, always. But today, let's see how easy it is to spend and earn cash back with my Venmo debit card as a busy teacher on the go. First off, coffee. Always coffee. A matcha latte, please. And yes, I'll be paying with my Venmo debit card. Gas prices, rude, but I make it painless. My boyfriend?
And I'm like, fuck. They pulled 2 cables through this fucking enormous thing, and they're not 100. Anyway, so that's the only complaint I have about that. And this is more of a complaint with a particular company than anything. But it's like, I'll say this thing, I'll say these things, and like the people that come to the house because it's like a house, and they're like, and I'll say I want 100 gigabit, and they're like, He doesn't know what he needs. 100 gig, that's crazy. What's he want? A jillion gigabits. This guy. A billion? Okay, yeah, all right. And so they're like, I'll just pull this fiber, which is perfect.
At this point, you have like 3 government satellites aimed at your house at all times.
Probably. I have an unbelievable amount of bullshit going on here. And they said,
Anyway, I was just like, God, I wish people would take me seriously sometimes, because I'm saying what I mean. I don't know everything about everything I'm doing, but when I say I want 100 gigabit, and they'll say, like, well, you need to get really expensive infrastructure to even handle 100 gig. And then I go,
This is not remotely the same, but I get that, like, salespeople that people in that position, they deal with, those customers. Generally, everyone kind of wants the same thing, because if you work for a company that sells shit, you're probably selling the same shit to all the people that you sell shit to. But I have been in that position too, especially with tech stuff, where I'm like, I want this really specific, different thing. I don't want the normal thing that you sell to every other person. I have a specific desire. Give me this, and the people are always like, the same shit as everyone else, and it's like, I know that your job is 98% selling this one fucking thing. Why can't you just listen or read the email? Yours sounds like a way more expensive thing than mine, because it's not like you can just be like, do it again, I'm just gonna do that. Mine is like, I just have to return whatever they gave me and be like, no, give me the one with the thing that I asked for, not this one that I didn't ask for.
I've also laid a thicker pipe because I wanted it to be.
Yeah, you did.
It's not like they have to take those out to put another one in, but it is more difficult to pull in when there's things already in there. Like they actually do have a protocol where they lubricate the interior.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they Anyway, so that's my latest headache. It's just like, this has already been an incredibly expensive project. And weirdly enough, still cheaper than the alternative was. But in money, but holy hell. Things. Because it adds up, right? This is, I can use this, but I wanted to transfer at 100 gigabit speed so I can get full speed. Because my NAS can go faster than 10 gig, which is the usual ceiling, and I can move data a lot faster. It's just like now I have to wait another week to get another one in there, and I have to fight with them to be like, you didn't do what I said. But it's writing. God.
It sounds funny. In a week where you were not allowed to sleep more than a couple hours a day, it sounds like a really glorious thing to deal with during your waking hours.
That's part of the reason why I didn't catch it, is because I was like, oh, they're working on it. They know what they're doing. They didn't pull it off. They didn't do a good job.
This tangentially related, but you guys watch William Hustle on YouTube?
Yeah.
Friends with
YouTubers. Sorry.
Gotta get you on the
They're
wrong
tech
track.
YouTubers.
Go
Yeah.
ahead,
Anyway,
go.
William has like a
It's
property.
real.
He makes crazy inventions, and he gets kicked out of rental properties. And so they finally got a place that's like out, and they have some land. It's like a farm, and he was pulling wires so that he could have, like, I think it was like power and internet. He had a conduit out to a shed, but he needed to pull the wires, and he had a friend there helping him do it. And they got to the end, and the wire pulled out of the conduit by like an inch, but it needed to pull out like several feet, and they were down to like the tail end on both ends of the conduit, and they were like, oh my god, we're like 5 feet short of wire on this like couple 100-foot long pole. Like, fuck. And the solution was, I think they were just cut the bottom. One of them was like a power box thing, and they would just cut the bottom off, and we'll just put it right on the ground. and the conduit, so the wire can just go right into it, and you'll need like an inch of wire. It's so funny though, because I mean, they're not professionals at that, but it was a whole thing, and they had to get lube before and all this shit, and they finally, it was like, the wire's coming out, and they're like, wait, we see more wire. What do you mean there's no more wire? Wait. It's so fucking funny.
Problems happen even in professional capacities, but they're usually laughing a lot less about it.
Yeah. Right, Wade? If you feed a lot of wire through conduit, Wade, you know what we're talking about.
No, but I guess I also have a technology break.
All right.
You guys know how we have cars, right?
Cars? Yeah, go on.
Well, we have a car that doesn't work.
Please say it's... It's not either of the new ones, it's the old one.
New one's good. Old one. Turns out you might need to drive a car somewhere to keep working.
That's generally true.
My nephew came over and wanted to play basketball, and I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." But I had the car in the driveway blocking the hoop, so we had to move it. Bring the car, and it was. That doesn't sound right. Might be good.
That sounds like a
hit at me.
I think that's a good sound.
It wasn't. So we went to
awesome.
Battery. And like the electronic keys and stuff were working, the lights on the dash would come on. It just would not start. So I don't know if I just still actually need to replace the battery and the jump wasn't working. Because the jumper cables he had weren't jumper cables we were looking at from one battery to the other. One was like this standalone battery that has the two cables. But it didn't get the car to start. So we had to put it in neutral and manually push the car out of the way and stuff. Now the old car is not working. It's like, what do I just get a battery that's fixed? Do I call a tow truck? What are you doing that tonight?
Thanks to Christians. Yeah.
Yeah. My small talk is help.
What do you really want? So it sounds like you're connecting a battery charger, and what you really want is you don't really need to spend the money on a charging thing. But what you should get is some jump leads where you connect one car to another. Yeah, pull one of your functional cars up next to non-functional car. Connect the one on that turns on. Connect the batteries and like let it charge for a solid like 20 minutes, half hour. Because it sounds like the battery is probably old on its last legs, maybe needs to be replaced. But if it gets longer term charge as opposed to the jump pack inside, basically make the starter work. And then everything's supposed to jump to life if everything's working correctly.
Do you turn on the car that you were using to start? When you have to, right? Otherwise you're just bringing that back.
It'll just kill the battery. So yeah, leave the car running and just try and like just leave it. It's 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever. You can try and start the other one. It won't hurt it. You don't want to keep doing it, but like you can see if that brings it to life. Because a lot of those jump packs, the fatal flaw is they have some kind of trigger in them so that when you do try and start the car, if the starter engages, it makes the jump turn off because it senses the voltage drop, and so it's like, oh, it's starting, and it gives up, and it's like, well, if it doesn't start, that's not very helpful. So
I think some of those
jump packs do that, and if your battery's not really healthy, it won't get enough charge to actually like make spark. But charging with more parts, that'll probably bring it around enough to where you can go and see where it's
Yeah, I want to get it like cleaned up, but I guess we'll make sure the battery's in good shape.
If you were keeping it, I would say, yeah, you probably do need a new battery, it sounds like. But if you're getting rid of it, it's like, you might want to tell the person, dealer you're selling it to or whatever, like, yeah, it needs battery.
That's what I do with the social level is, I didn't get I go in there, and after I'm sitting, the after meeting where you're signing all the paperwork, I tell them, like, then I start talking, like, yeah, that piece of shit broke down so many goddamn times. The door was falling off, everything rusting about, and literally the look on his face, like, so, like, you may think you got it over on the curve to you, and
Yeah, well, that was the money guy, not the sales guy, so he couldn't do much about it, could he?
Yeah, no, couldn't do that. Anyway.
I bet they're watching right now, holding like a glass of whiskey and just shaking their fist.
In the shadowed corner of their big mansion with the fireplace going.
I don't. Well, so your car was kind of a piece of shit, which was not your fault. I don't know what people do to cars though. I sold my Subaru and got my current car that I have. I took it in to the dealer, and I was like, I want to sell this car. And the guy, they like took it for a test drive, and the guy came back in and was like, "That's a real nice car." Yeah, I did the schedule maintenance on it, and I like clean it and stuff. Like, what the fuck kind of Mad Max piece of shit vehicles you guys take in on trades? And it was literally like, it's in the perfect condition, and I was like, I know, I made it that way. I did all that. People must trade in some real pieces of shit cars. I don't know.
I mean, I did. And I was like, okay, it's mine. Every time.
Yeah, but it's yours. Like if I had owned that car for like 15 years instead of a handful of years, it would definitely had some like scratches or dents on the fenders or whatever. But like,
how can a person feel fulfilled in themselves while they are navigating a relationship? I think it's about having meaning.
A handful of years, it would definitely had some like scratches.
Lost like your truck that lasted 15 years before it got a scratch.
Yeah. How many decades have you had your truck?
And it's cold.
I can't even remember what a decade is.
It's cold.
Did I ever talk about how garages are designed?
You mean the murder spring that lives over our head? Door system?
How did that go wrong? Terrifying.
It's terrible.
What are those cords called? Like the real fucking spot. One of those, there's like usually two on the door. I can't remember what they're called.
What do you have on your door?
Anyway, at their old house, we had one of those snap and like the loudest, scariest noise.
What snap?
Some really hot door cord. I don't know.
I've never had what you're speaking about. Was it cords that like lifted the garage up and down? Was it like related to the mechanism?
I believe, yeah, because the door wouldn't open until it had to replace it. There was one on each side of the door. It was like a double wide garage door.
I've only ever had garages where there was like the one track that the thing attached to and it pulled the track on the top.
Yeah, this is the old house. I can't even go and look at it. This one I think is the single track. But the garage door, the complaint I have, we have like single car garage door, and it's really tall, but the shit is so narrow that even though I got a car, and not a big car, just a normal or even smaller than usual sized looking car, there is about a 1 inch to 2 inch gap on either side for the side mirrors to fit in. And the sensors on newer cars, my old car was like a 2015, and prior to that was 97. I've never had all the sensors and cameras. I pull this car into the garage, and I kind of have to back it in so I can see everything as I'm going in there. It's easier to get in and out that way. Every sensor is going off non-stop as I try to park this thing in the garage because of how narrow the space is where the door is.
I don't think that was a garage. I think you parked inside a minute. Because it doesn't sound like any garage I've ever seen in my life.
It barely fits.
We lived in a place, one of the houses that we lived in California was like that, but the house was built in like 1964, and it was it was the original garage door from way the fuck back in it was a one-piece garage door where it like tilted up like an old tiny, it was terrible. Your house is not that old.
This house, I don't remember exactly when it was built. Sometime between 2005 and 2010.
That was not that old.
No, it's like a 20-year-old house.
Is it like where you have your normal garage and then you have a garage that just appeared randomly in my house overnight? I don't know where it came from.
It's a 3-car garage. So there's like a 2 and a 1. And the 2 is perfectly normal. Tons of space, tons of real estate. You can golf next to that one.
Was the extra one there when you bought the house? Are you sure? Think of it.
Yes, it's under the house. Yeah, it was not added on. It was there.
No, I mean, I don't think garages belong under the house. Yeah, it's if it's a basement garage, I think it's
It's not a separate garage. It's part of the structure. I'm trying to say. You can tell if it was added on. It was not added on. You've seen the house. You know what I'm talking about.
I think this might just be an extension of Wade's gardeners.
Either my car is like wide.
Pop the car, did a really creepy guy grab your arm awkwardly and go, sit down. And then your garage started getting thinner and thinner over time or something? Or?
I don't know. Maybe my car it's got like high calorie gasoline or something, because every time I park, I feel like I've got less space. Every fucking sensor. I go to back in and like the whole thing lights up red. It's like, you're hitting everything! Iceberg! Garage! Cow! Look out! It's like, I don't know if there's actually a problem because every sensor is red as I try to park this fucking thing.
I will say, don't you have a 6 Series convertible? Is it a 6?
M850i.
It's 850. Okay, so it's an 8 Series convertible. That's not a particularly small It is like basically a 2-seater convertible. It's wide. It's a fat ass. It's got that.
So when you lock it, the mirrors like fold in. And I was like, oh, if I could just get those to fold in while it's on.
There's a button for that, yeah.
So many buttons on these new cars. I gotta find that button. Oh, these new cars.
On the left, on your door thing, above where your windows are, there's the the button that makes you adjust the mirrors. Next to it, there's a little button that makes them fold in. 100% guarantee.
I need that button. Because man, oh man, I am pouring sweat every time I park. So I'm like, okay, there's a half an inch. There's maybe 2 on that side. It's good enough, right? Yep, still have mirrors. All right, we did it, boys. It's terrifying.
I feel like this is a Wade problem. I know it's set up as like a technology gripe, but this feels somehow like a you problem.
No, the old car was technology gripe, and this is just a
Okay. And I just want to say, new cars have really less buttons. That's also a problem. The touchscreens kind of suck.
Kind of awful, but yeah. But also somehow more buttons, but also less.
Is when you go in your garage, the lights start swirling around you and a guy behind you swirling. You don't know which way the wind is blowing. Little Willy Wonka on the death.
Actually, I keep forgetting that our light is off. It's like dead. I need to replace it. So we go into our garages.
What? It's hers. It's hers. That's a curse.
Do you ever go into the garage and then all the exterior doors to your house all close and lock all at once? And then you hear someone from the other room yell, "It's hunting! It's hunting!"
I haven't yet, but now that you mention it.
And then you pull out your notebook and you're like, "Oh, I think it's a djinn!"
And your place is foggy and you go in there because it's suddenly so cold.
Yeah. That sort of stuff.
Just play Phasmo.
This
Scary,
update,
but
new
fun.
thing came out recently. 519 hours.
That's a lot of hours.
Can you sort by most played? I wonder what my most played game is.
That seems like a thing you could do.
Probably Minecraft in general, but I'm seeing it on
This is important enough that we all need to stop what we're doing.
Out of all the games I've played, I probably got the most hours packed on Minecraft.
Sort my playtime. Oh, wow. I'm doing it on my phone, so I have no idea
Spent
how to help you
days
guys.
at a
But
time
on
on
my phone, if
Minecraft. I
I look
might
at my
start that
library, I
back
can
up.
sort my playtime. My highest played game on Steam
Who doesn't like
PUBG
Minecraft?
at 1,278 hours. Counter-Strike 2 at 536 hours? Do I play longer than that? Maybe you did. I have 112 hours in War Thunder? Heck, damn. Oh my god, I have 100 hours in Unturned. Do you guys remember Unturned?
Oh, yeah, actually I do.
Blocky zombie survival game thing. How much did you play that? I have like 100 hours almost.
No,
Wow.
don't
This
freeze
is a
on
fun
me.
game.
It was a fun game. I didn't put nearly that.
Why?
Okay, wait, it might be in my profile.
Baby.
Is this the episode where we're just
Why
going
are
to
you
compare our
freezing
own?
on
Just for
me?
now. I've only
I
got,
just
I've
used
got
my
14
other
hours
thing.
in Unturned, so I guess I played it more than I thought I did. It's not 100, but
62 hours in the Division first one. Classic. New World. Remember when New World was fun for a minute?
yeah.
I have
PUBG is 600 hours. I'm just
I have
trying to
80
600.
plus hours.